All right. Are we ready? I know I'm ready. All right. We've sat back and waited for a while. I think we're about ready to start. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a while, but we're back. Hello. I hope everybody is having a lovely day, because today we are back after a long month hiatus. We are finally back playing Dungeons and Dragons, or Pathfinder I should say. I'm so happy to be back. I've missed this world. I've missed these band of idiots. Fuck it. I'm not even gonna do anything. We're just gonna jump in. We're gonna go say hi.
As interesting as that was, that did give me quite a penalty to my attack roll.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hey!
Hello.
Shalom.
Are we ready?
Guten
As ready as
Tag.
can be.
Yes,
Yeah, it can be.
All right. Good to know.
I have alcohol and I have pretzels. We're set.
Oh,
I have.
Are you streaming it or no?
tea.
what? Yeah, I'm live.
Alcohol? Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm live.
Everyone
I heard alcohol.
So, welcome back, everyone. It's been a month, a whole freaking month,
I know.
and it's been a very long month at that.
It has been, even though it's the
Ooh,
shortest.
It
month.
really has.
Absolutely. So, we are starting a little late, or early, compared to our old schedule, but later than I wanted to start today. But let's get into things and immediately pick up where we left off. So, the finale of Chapter 1 ended with you guys slaying the demigod Eisen 2 and destroying the weave of blood magic. So thus, the blood wars are over. The great demigod Eisen 2 has been slain, and the weave of blood magic has been shattered. However, as the Wanderers celebrated their righteous victory over their enemies, they are still blinded from how much there is to do still. The Empress of Flame has brought her civilization to Avalon and has shown immaculate power, being the new Demon Lord of Fire. Nanaji is very concerned with this new development, as well as her son Krachinos, as they are uncertain where all of their morals and allegiances lie. As the world stands by and begins to recover from the damage that the Black Roses caused to the realm, a whole month has passed in-game since our heroes last saw each other. So, we're going to start right there. And we are going to go over some things. Namely, new character images.
Woo!
Yeah.
We're pretty.
Yeah.
So, we're going to go ahead and start. If everybody would explain to the audience what your characters have been doing for the month that has passed. Starting with the list, starting at the top of the list, which is Brady.
Morgan went home to see if she could speak to her parents. Unfortunately, that was unable to happen, so she traveled.
Wow.
Around the world more, keeping her promise to the living darkness.
That's right. Your little shadow dog.
Shadow puppy. Hrothar.
Hrothar.
Hrothar. Hrothar. Yes.
The dog.
All right.
Randomly popping in on people like William or Noctis. Oh, Was Squish with Opal?
No.
I don't remember. But randomly popping in on people. Because, boots of teleport.
Actually, you wouldn't know where Squish was.
No.
No, I wouldn't. Last I
Actually-
knew, he was with Opal.
Alright, so Morrigan traveled around the world to help Hrothgar in her promise to the Mistress of the Dark. Alicia spent her time in prison. I mean, there's
No
nothing
dialogue
else.
for you.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Dave, but
All you hear is Monica. Wait.
yeah, that's
That was loud as fuck.
She's just has spent her month in jail meditating.
Yep. However, outside of Alicia being in prison, I'm also going to let everybody know that Alice has actually managed to get Genshin and Wing rights up and working, and the business has been rather busy.
That's another reason that Morgan would go to Algaroth.
So, Squish! You noticed that, you got a name change there, bud.
Yes, Squish has been granted a title.
A title by the goddess herself. Squish has been recognized as the Novice of the Sun.
If you ask Squish, it's just Novice of Sun.
Absolutely, because he can't speak regular English.
What are prepositions? Wait, okay, conjunctions.
Conjunctions, not prepositions.
What is grammar?
What is grammar?
Yeah,
What is grammar?
So, Cody, go ahead and explain to the audience what Squish was doing for the last month.
Well, after defeating Cycrix, Squish helped out a little bit
Eisen
around.
Eisen 2.
Eisen 2. My apologies.
It's okay.
He helped around the ruined cities and whatnot, helping people, but then decided his time could be better spent elsewhere, considering things were being managed by Opal. He went and did some serious training. I forget the place where he went to go train.
Squish went to go train his way of the sword at the Galahad Academy.
Oh.
Oh, Squish went to school.
Yes, Squish went to combat school. Which what we haven't actually gone over
I hate
like
to watch them grow up.
we actually haven't been to the Galahad Academy at the current moment in time. But Cody, I'm assuming you probably would not have gone for the military training that's offered there. You just would have been like, yeah, I just want to learn how to swing a sword.
Yeah, basically.
Squish
fair.
holds up sword. Teach.
So the Galahad Academy is basically a school that basically trains the military and the different militaries from around the world, and they also offer different combat teachings, whether it be swords or yeah. Anyway, let's.
I did also have an aerobics teacher there.
Absolutely.
Squish learn yoga.
And she was a very pretty elf too.
Well, Squish needed to learn to run. He wanted to overcome his injuries from the past.
Yes, so Squish got swole, basically.
Yes.
Swish.
Matt.
William found his dad after the battle and just bluntly walked up and said, "Let's go hunt." And so they went to the wildlands and just spent the month hunting, killing, living off the wildlands.
Except
Oh,
for
there's more?
one week in time where you were ushered back to, I forget what the capital of that continent is.
Vortica or Rustberry?
No, you guys were brought back to Vortica. and you guys arrived back to find a few officials, and your dad, because of his bravery and courage during the Blood Wars, was granted knighthood. So he is now known as Sir Yves Glickman.
My dad's cooler than all your dads.
My dad's dead.
I just like it how collectively all I heard was my dad is dead.
I mean, my dad is dead too, so.
Oh my god.
All your parents are dead.
My dad tried to kill me.
That's so funny.
That is-
Alright.
Oh god.
So,
My dad's
yeah.
right.
William spent most of his month out in the wildlands with his dad.
Woogie, woogie, woogie.
So, Germany. Noctis has
Hello.
had quite the month.
Indeed. I now officially, well, not officially, but I'm Prince. Oh, Prince. Been doing assistant work at the College of the Varrock School of Magic. I don't know why I said college before saying School of Magic. I was assisting the headmistress Nisavin in magic stuff, doing research and other shite.
In imitation of Noctis's month. Master Eleanor, I'm having trouble casting mage armor again. Can you help me?
And then a
Lightning
fire
bolt.
and then a fireball goes off on the
Lightning bolt.
and then a fireball goes off in the background or something.
Boom.
I take after Croucher Nose and my lightning bolt.
I could seriously imagine just Noctis being called in, be like, all right, look, I need you to just. The kids are going through elemental training. Just watch over them, please.
Perfect. I shall.
Because the teacher is out. Just make sure they don't kill each other.
Students pride.
Yep, and then Lightning Bolt is just he just walks he just kicks in the door and he's like, all right, listen up.
Listen
gonna
up, you shit.
First lesson, I'm gonna teach you how to dodge.
You can dodge a ball, you can dodge a fireball.
If you can dodge lightning, you can dodge anything.
Ironically enough, Morgan can dodge lightning.
So, yeah, Noctis spent most of his time at the Varrock School of Magic, helping Nisavin as the temporary, assistant to the head of the school.
He was the assistant principal.
Yes.
I was an intern.
He was the intern. So, as for our little Opal Floridia, after helping the fallout of the war and the injured soldiers and such, with everybody splitting up, she decided that she wanted to go back to Algaroth and reestablish the church that she was raised in. And doing such, she was granted the title of High Priestess in the church. So, now that we are all caught up on our heroes and each of our characters, I want the stream to get a look at the newly updated list of all the characters.
It's long.
It's very long, and plus some characters that
Dead.
the players haven't seen yet, but they do exist. So we have Onaji, Alrath, Mesami, who, after the Blood War, is still bedridden from her injuries.
Oh no.
And Alrath
Leaving Al in charge.
leaving Alrath in charge of the White Lotus.
Oh no.
Oh God, help those people.
Oh, he has someone helping him.
I hope it's Grimmick.
Yeah.
It is both Grimmick and what was her name? Yugiri.
Yugiri, yep.
Our stalker?
Yes.
Yes, our stalker.
Nisavin was granted the appointed headmistress. Phelan is still in prison on Equium.
Good.
She's 3 doors down on the left from me.
Every morning you hear from Alicia, you a bitch.
You a bitch!
Better hope they don't let me out this cage. I got a shake for you.
Of course, we have the speakers who are still roaming the worlds. We have Elenish, who is still dealing with things at the First Page Grand Library. Delry, the Drow High Priestess of the Underdark. Krachinos, Sir Yevez Glickman.
Sir, Yevez Glickman.
We still have the Architect, Ishtala and Doxura. Nautsu, who is still dead. And since we haven't actually given the name for it, the giant prismatic dragon that was helping you guys fight off Eisen 2, the dragon's name is Prisma.
Sparkly.
We have
Sparkly boy's name is Prisma.
We have Onyx, the Oracle and brother to Opal. Actually, he got a new title as well. I just forgot to put it in.
Harbinger of Death.
Actually, that's what it is.
Nice call.
Harbinger is one of those words I forever will love because it's just so dope.
I have it right here on my notes. It's like Onyx Florinia, the Harbinger of Death.
Death.
And I'm like, all right.
Harbinger. That's from a video game. I feel like
Yeah.
I can't remember.
There is the vampire who is responsible for the House of Light, who deals with everything on the surface world. I forgot his name, and I was too lazy to go
If
through.
we ever got his name.
I swear I gave you guys his name. I really have to go back and look at the VODs for the Underdark.
Yeah, it would be just as we're coming out of the Underdark.
Of course, we have our Oracle of Foresight, Juniper.
Who hates
She
us?
doesn't
like
want to
us.
see us at all.
We have Professor Leonardo Calsworth, who is working with Noctis, who
I smacked for exactly 13 points of damage.
So, yeah, Noctis, you also come to find out something very interesting about Leo. He's never the same person every day. He's always a different person every day.
Right.
Oh, that's right. That's the illusion-y boy.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's actually a
remember him.
changeling.
He's not, actually. He's a human.
He's an illusion mage.
Yeah, Leo is human. We
He's
have
the definition of
Making
living in your own reality.
Usurik Vada here, aka Father, who is still alive.
In his own
Avalon.
special place in the dungeons.
Also-
Yeah, that's 6 doors down on the right.
Also on Equium. We have
He's
Fafnir.
6 doors down on the right.
We have Fafnir, the Oracle to the Father of Creation, Torag,
Aye!
who has been spending a lot of his time cleaning up with the ends of the Blood Wars once the ships arrived from Father and Dur. We have the newest members of the world of Avalon, the 9. Leading the charge, we have the daughter of Alrath Grimborn and Mesame Kazuko, Demon Lord Hino Akumaho. The one that you've been searching for, all of Chapter 1. And the rest of her organization, Walter Somar, her head butler, Maximus Marcellus, her head pilot, their goddess, Arabella Ivel, Eve, their monk, their head wizard, Yumari, their assassin, Guton.
We have not met him yet.
I thought you guys did.
We didn't meet
Have
Guton.
not met Guton yet.
For the
We
sake
met Ezekiel, Yumari, Eve, Maximus. We saw Arabella, and we saw the twins.
Fair enough.
I technically spoke with Arabella briefly.
Yeah, very briefly. So yeah, you guys have not yet met Guton. Their pet
We've also-
their pet dragon, Raze. The
We've
ever-burning
seen
flame.
him.
We watched him fight.
Their alchemist, Midel. Their
Haven't seen
technomancer.
her.
Their technomancer, Tarzer. Arabella's children. Arabella's children, Ayaka and Ayako Evel. And their bard, Ezekiel Vohan.
He definitely fucked
Who
the faceless.
may catch these hands one day.
Oh, he's definitely catching my hands.
So, ladies
Let's
and
A good
gentlemen.
way or a bad way?
Yes.
That's the right answer.
So now that we're all caught up on characters and such, our adventure once again begins in the Court of the Gods on Equium
Ugh.
to discuss the current situations and happenings around the world. So, we're going to go to the map for a little bit, because this is going to be the first time that your characters are going to be seeing each other in a whole month. Each of
the
you,
city's been renamed.
each of you,
Yes, it did.
each of you have received a letter. And that would be giving you the access to pierce through the barriers around Equium, and you are summoned before the Court of the Gods. And you all slowly...
Except for me, who's approximately 300 feet below that.
We walk in, Dave's in shackles.
Actually, Dave...
I wouldn't doubt it.
Actually,
I wouldn't
Dave...
doubt it.
No, Dave, you were released the day prior.
Was released
It's
the
been a
day
month
prior.
and a day.
You were just told not to leave.
Yes, you were just told not to leave because, the guards came up and said, hey, look, you're free to go. Just stay on Equium for a day. We have a room for you and such. But you're needed for a meeting tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Oh, okay.
So, each of you arrive on Equium. You each traverse your way and slowly make your way to the front of the grand courthouse in the center of the city.
Did not miss this one.
I'm already just standing there thinking, why do they want me? Have I not done enough?
All right, everybody roll me a D100.
D1.
Ramen.
Oh boy. Oh.
That is the first time I've rolled less than a 50 on a D100 in the past
Yeah, mine too.
month.
All right, so Dave.
Woohoo! 6!
So Dave, you're already here, so that's fine. Dave, as you're sitting on the steps of the courthouse, you happen to see a tiny little kobold coming up to you.
Tiny little kobold. Does this kobold look familiar?
Yeah, he looks pretty familiar to you.
Shiny. Yeah.
He is adorable. He is a gold scaled kobold. It takes you a second to realize this is Squish standing in front of you.
Hi, Squish.
Someone call Squish? Just looking around.
Waving
Looks
hand
towards
in
you.
front of you.
Who the fuck are you?
I look nothing like I used to.
I know. Who you? Hmm.
Suppose it has been quite some time, hasn't it?
Elise?
Elise.
Is the one and only.
Oh,
How have you been? You look stronger.
you have wings.
Oh, are they out again? Hold on. She just concentrates on for a moment and they retract back in.
Yes, been quite some time. How, was prison?
Cold, dark, lonely, quiet.
Need hug?
Yes.
Gives hug. Well,
Roll for
waits for
hug.
her to
A little bit
waits
further.
for her to bend down first.
A little bit further down the street as you guys are talking, Morrigan and Noctis run into one another.
Oh shit, is that? Oh la merde. Morrigan.
I figured you wouldn't have recognized me. You are the idiot after all.
I mean, somewhat, yeah. How's it been?
I've been traveling. I've seen you. Didn't say hi though.
That is mildly creepy, but I'll take it.
Hey, Noctis, make me a reflex save.
Uh-oh.
Yes! Yes!
We're starting this back out where we left it. with
Oh,
Robbie
absolutely.
and
First
Blood.
roll of chapter 2.
Let's go.
Oh, shit. So,
Am I
never
within the
gonna get
range of
anywhere.
this?
it doesn't affect you, Brady. So you guys, as you guys
Okay.
are standing here talking, you guys suddenly hear a crack of a teleport, and then suddenly, Noctis, you are brought to the ground. As Morgan, as you look down, you have to see a mop of long golden hair in very, very elegant clothing, and
This bitch.
like Noctis, you regain your senses and such, and you hear a very familiar, bubbly voice shout your name and give you a hug as you guys are on the ground. As Opal teleported into Equium and messed up the teleport and landed on you.
I'll pat Opal's head and go, "It is very nice to see you."
It's so nice to see you guys as well. And she
Morgan's
stands up
just
and
gonna lean over and help Opal up.
yeah, she gets up and she gives you a hug as well. Oh, I missed you guys so much.
Opal, I saw you not too long ago.
I know, but still, being stuck in the church for a whole month and not going on any adventures is kind of boring.
I'm gonna stand up and dust my cloak off. You know, it took me a whole month to get my posture to not be so fucking garbage.
But wow, you guys look so great. Noctis, I love the uniform for your teaching.
Thank you. It's very,
You were teaching?
yeah.
Why would they let you teach people?
You have to tell me so many stories.
Well, do you remember how Katanos trained me?
No, I don't. I didn't watch.
Good.
We were getting high
Alicia
with grudge.
knows.
So you guys make your way up to the courthouse, and you happen to see Alicia and Squish standing there as well.
Shoot the shit.
As soon as I see Opal,
As soon as I see Squish.
I stop whatever it is that I'm doing. Immediately start sprinting towards her. Forgetting to keep concentration on my wings. So they spread out and now I'm flying towards her.
I'm just picturing Opal, or not Opal, Alicia and Morgan running past each other.
Squish kind of turns around and is like, "Oh God, what's going on?"
Enveloped by Morgan.
Noctis is just
And
standing there like
as,
a
As Squish is enveloped by Morgan's hug, Alicia collides with Opal, giving her a giant bear hug, picking her up in the air and twirling.
nice.
Yeah, she's amused by it. She's happy to see you as well.
Hi, stranger.
It's me, Squish.
Oh, wow, you change.
I mean, out of
Not
all of us,
much.
Morgan probably looks the most same.
You have more clothes on.
Yeah. Yes, I have more clothes on. That's literally it. More clothes and the hair is longer. That's it.
Yes. But you gotta realize
leave-
Squish is. Everybody's changed for Squish.
And Alicia
True.
has dark hair and less clothes on.
Y'all change personalities or something.
No remove.
No.
No remove.
So
We're
His
Alicia,
name was Noctis.
did you dye
Yeah,
your
Noctis,
hair?
but
Did you dye your hair? I love the color.
Thank you. I didn't necessarily by choice. Also, when her wings do come out, at first they come out a pure white that then gets enveloped by a wave of darkness.
Still having trouble with the demon lord?
Unfortunately, a little bit. I think this might be a result of that.
We'll have to take a look at that eventually. Then suddenly, you guys hear another teleport crack. As two men fall from the teleport, or appear from the teleport. The other one's just like dusting off his clothes and says, "Ah, bloody teleports it.
Agreed. Dear Lord, can't we just walk here or something?
Simple ride on an airship would be fine."
Yeah, I mean, seriously.
Unfortunately, those are still extremely expensive.
Well,
William, stop being a bitch.
look who it is.
William.
Hello? William looks so much more swole than he used to be.
Noctis just
Morgan doesn't look up from Squish, just calls William a bitch.
As for you, Morgan.
Noctis just looks a little taller, and that's just because his posture's better.
Look at you all and all your fancy new outfits, and Alicia has wings. I'm not gonna deal with that.
Squish is also visibly more swole.
Well, I'd hate to break up the reunion of the Wanderers, which is
we have to go inside.
monumentous. However, we are due for a meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
Forward.
Come.
Morgan just stands up, still holding Squish.
Come. We can catch up later.
I would
I
quite
can
like
walk.
to.
No,
Out
you're being
here.
carried.
Dave, you're gonna have to speak up a little bit.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I would quite like to get out of here as soon as possible.
Then we go
This
to the
place
meeting.
is pretty, but when you've seen it for a month straight,
Alicia, I'm surprised they let you see it.
Agreed.
There was a window with bars. I was able to hover.
So, you all enter into the courthouse. You guys can hear talking, like immediately as soon as you walk in. There's a couple of people roaming around, and you are then gestured into the main hall, where you guys remember having the meeting with the guardians and most of the oracles.
And the trial.
In the trial, yeah. Basically where you were sent for your trial. Just be like, head right in there. So you guys are free to
Do we
make
get to sit in the box again?
the boxes are actually off limits to people of the surface world.
No, I meant the one at the bottom of the stage.
Oh, no. You guys aren't on you guys are not on trial anymore. You can take a seat wherever you seem fit.
Just not upstairs. Got it.
Yep.
I like to point out I'm still carrying Squish.
Scaring.
Scaring.
Scary.
Carrying.
Sit next to my dad, who I've just had
Go
him up.
right there, I guess.
Alicia's actually just going to wave her hand forward to let Opal go first before her.
Opal's actually going to go up and sit next to her brother, who's supposed to be on the screen.
Who isn't? I will sit next to her.
There's My Chemical Romance.
While walking past, Ishtala? Is your name, right?
Yes, Ishtala.
I'll just give a slight wave and keep walking and sit next to Squish.
She gives you like a polite smile. And
All I
at the,
can think about right now is that like we're sitting in church pews, and you have Morgan and Normu next to each other, and she was just sipping on a juice box.
so at the head of the the front, you guys can see Alrath, Onaji, Krachinos, Nisavin, and give me perception rolls.
About 10 seconds after we sit, Izor lands on my shoulder.
When you sit next to Squish, Squish does recognize you and says hello.
Good morning. How's it been, Squish? I pat his head. Where's my fucking perception? There it is.
Yeah, I have to look for it too.
I know it's been a while,
It's been a
guys,
minute.
but come on.
Well, shit, Squish.
Yeah. Squish
Still
is
play to your cards.
hypersensitive right now. So, you guys, you know, you get your bearings. People are just talking amongst each other, you know, just shooting the shit for a while everybody's arriving. You take a look around in the upper boxes, and you see quite a few new faces that you haven't seen yet. So you can recognize, you can recognize Foresight right up in here. This oracle, and this oracle were there for your trials. You guys-
One of the Dryad.
Oh yeah, the Dryad as well. Oh yeah, she's right there. Sorry, she blends in a little bit.
She does. I didn't see her there for either.
Yeah.
No shit. Yeah, she does. Damn.
Darkness is actually here as well. And then you guys happen to see a few new faces that you've never seen before.
Oh, what
Oh,
the
fuck is that?
We found a trickster.
That thing looks amazing.
You see this character, he's not sitting in his chair as he normally does. He's like sitting on his feet, which are on the chair, and just like hunched over.
He's doing the
Is he biting
elbows.
his thumb too?
No, he's not biting his thumb, but he's sitting. He's doing the L sit, pretty much. There are these 4 characters.
The horns on that one.
Yeah.
Fucking
Yeah,
Seriously.
they're not actually as big as the image portrays. They're kind of like I would say no bigger than bull horns.
I was gonna say, does she have a pew to herself?
So
How did you get in?
winner.
Does she fit through the door?
Yes, she does.
I'm trying to think of what Oracle domains these folks can be.
Well,
Salud.
if anybody,
Nice.
if you guys can take a guess, or if anybody in chat wants to have a guess at
that
it.
one's winner. I can't figure out the last 3.
Healing?
No, that's technically Opal, isn't it?
Well, no, she's the Oracle of Life, but she's
Hmm.
an Oracle of
Oracle of
specifically healing.
I don't know.
I can
There
only
seems
think
to
of
be
this
some.
one as an Oracle of Magic, but...
We already know who that is.
Yes,
yeah.
but where is her
Where
image?
is Yoko? Oh, Yoko's not on here either. What the fuck?
Good thing I brought it up.
Yeah, Yoko definitely should be here. She's not even on my Roll20. What the hell is wrong with me?
What the
Oh
fuck?
no!
Yeah, I'm unprepared.
Wow!
She's got a-
Wow!
She's gonna break up the
Wow!
Wanderers.
Wow!
She's gonna break up the Wanderers, guys.
All right, let me go into my. No, most of my fucking time has been spent organizing all of these images.
Trust me, you're perfectly fine.
Good God, I really wish you
I-
guys could see how many fucking folders are within a folder within a folder, in this.
I know
It's
the feeling.
Nutty.
That's a mood.
All right, Yoko. Where am I gonna put Yoko? I'll put Yoko right here.
The one with the horns, I would think, would be fire.
Really? Not the one with the flaming book?
The next
No,
next one that you can see.
That has to be night. Or
most definitely night.
That quite literally reminds me of
Or
Call
like,
of a Boss.
well, there was void. There's a void.
There is, yeah.
Hey, Matt.
Hmm.
I actually think you might be correct on that. Yes, this is the Oracle of the Void.
Because it's space. Space is a big ass void.
That makes sense.
So congrats, Matt. You guys
Not
recognize.
being smart for once.
You guys recognize Opal. Then you see this mysterious figure just
Of
sitting
course we recognize Opal.
and floating above his seat.
All right.
Well, that's the Oracle of Time.
Time.
Yeah, that's very, very self-explanatory.
Where
I
do
mean-
they keep him? Jeez.
Locked
A
up.
giant clock tower.
And then the last one.
Law.
Either law or justice.
Yeah, that's the only
Or
two I can
order.
get. True, I think order and chaos are domains.
I'm gonna lean over and whisper to Squish.
Oh, the Joker-looking one is definitely the Chaos domain.
I'm gonna whisper to Squish. Man, your coworkers look fucking crazy.
You do
I-
realize
I
you're
don't get-
talking to Morgan's tit as well, right?
What?
I look
Just-
I look at my
lean-
dad.
Squish is on Morgan's lap right now.
I lean over to Opal and Onyx and go, I don't recognize a lot of these oracles.
Well, most of them came out of hiding not too long ago. They wanted to stay away from all the conflict that was happening with the Black Roses.
I'm gonna look at my dad and be
That is
like, so
understandable.
how many of these did you know already?
Wait, what was your question?
I'm just gonna be like, so how many of these oracles did you already know exist?
Oh, I'm pretty sure all of them did. Haven't seen them
fair
all
enough.
myself.
I
And
don't think that's the
Opal,
oracle.
Opal looks over to Alicia and she just asks, "Which one are you most curious about?"
I would have
Lower
to
down.
say there's two. The one back here, the white robes, the flower queen, and well, quite frankly, the obvious time one.
Oh, I didn't even notice them. Those are the oracles of the seasons.
Oh.
Oh. Winter, spring,
Yeah, that
summer,
makes
fall.
sense now.
Spring, winter.
Fall.
Is this one fall or is this one fall?
Winter,
I'm thinking the one with the horns is summer.
It's summer.
winter, fall,
Ah.
spring,
Mm.
summer.
That makes
Oh,
sense.
summer.
Yeah, okay.
Interesting.
It's obvious which one this one was.
Yeah.
I think these two are probably the most obvious.
I got spring and summer mixed up.
Yeah, the plant iconography really hones in with the other two.
Yeah, it does. Trust me, it was actually very hard finding tokens for those characters.
Oh,
I
I
can
don't
imagine.
believe it at all.
Opal looks at you. Opal looks back and says, "It's kind of interesting. The Oracle of Winter is here. Because usually,
Is it so high up in the sky?
no, usually they're in the uncharted ice plains, keeping the ice wyvern at bay."
That's their fucking job.
That's quite the job.
And obviously this was very important. They call us here.
I'm gonna lean to Morgan. So it's weird. None of the 9 are here.
That is a good point, actually. Where are the 9?
I would assume
Did
they're
Opal hear him from
probably-
2 bays away?
I'm pretty sure. Actually, yeah. Actually, did she?
Who's this? I feel bad for this dude in between
Yeah.
us.
Just some random dude.
None of us recognize him or his importance.
Oh no, he's just Carl, the bookseller from down the street.
Yeah, he's just some common guy.
Some common guy.
Some common man from Equium.
His name is Carl.
Yeah.
He's the stenographer.
If we go
He's
into
definitely the stenographer.
I thought that was the Oracle of Foresight.
It probably is.
So, the Oracle of Fall, her name is Etheri. She's actually very sweet. She can make very good tea as well. Oh, her pumpkin cakes are super good. You gotta try one.
I certainly will have to. It's also been some time since I've had tea.
It's canon. Aetheri is the goddess of Starbucks.
Judi is the Oracle of Spring.
There is no war in Ba Sing Se.
Judi is
You
the
heard that too?
Fuck! I didn't notice that!
My name is
Fuck
Judy,
you,
and I will
random
be your
generators. I hate you so much. I just got trolled by a random generator.
guide.
Anyway, Jurdi is the Oracle of Spring. She actually spends a lot of time with the Oracle of Nature in the Wildlands. How do I say this name again? Jesus Christ.
Chrysanthemum. That's a flower.
I'm Chris Hansen. Yeah, I see you right there.
Kasrena. That's her name. Fuck. Kasrena is the Oracle of Summer. I actually haven't talked with her in a long time. Good to know that she's okay. Everybody calls her Cassie because her name is so hard.
That's understandable.
And as I was saying, the Oracle of Winter, their name is Cloftus. They just mainly keep an eye on the uncharted ice plains. Make sure that the Ice Wyvern doesn't do anything stupid.
I don't have an Oracle of Fire doing that.
Oh, that's... She points up to the guy that's sitting next to the Oracle of Darkness.
I was literally just going to
Yep.
click on this dude too.
Yep. She points up and points to the guy sitting next to Darkness and says, "Oh, that's the Oracle of Fire right there. I don't actually know his name.
He was the guy that proceeded over our trial, isn't he?
That's one of them." That's one of them. Where's Alamorn?
Is that water next to fire? Or no, it's darkness.
I also noticed Alamorn's not here.
Is Elmorn?
He's war.
He's the war.
Or I would assume he's
Maybe he's still in the
probably
castle.
Still in hiding at the castle.
Well, no, because everybody knows about him now.
Maybe he simply didn't want to come and deal with the politics, or maybe he's watching over May.
Or maybe he's too engrossed in a good book.
Engrossed in a good book. Haven't done that in a while.
You'll get your chance, don't worry, Alicia. So, as you guys are sitting there talking, you guys suddenly see Naji pick up a gavel and, bang on the table a couple of times and say, "All right, we've waited long enough. Let's get this meeting started." Surely we should have started a long time ago, Naji. Or are we finished waiting for the Empress to show up? Unfortunately, the circumstances around the world are too dire to wait any longer. If she shows up, she shows up at this moment in time.
So she is supposed to be here.
Alright. Anyway. There's so much that we have to go over. First of all, there's so much on this paper. I don't even know where to start.
From the top.
From the top. Well, good news. Most of the rebuilding process has been completed by the architect, and most of the civilians that were living in the cities that were affected by the Blood Wars are now able to move back in.
Glad to see that things are starting to go back to...
Oh goodness, let's see here. Maybe we can go over... How about we go over everything that's happening with my people in our land? These are the two elf girls that are sitting over here. Perhaps we should. How is the situation of Myro? Dreadful. Quite honestly. More and more people are dying every day. This is this one talking over here, and then this one looks over at her and just gives her a death glare and says, "Well, if you were just simply to follow directions, everything would be totally normal. And we continued to follow directions, where else would that have led us? All right. No fighting up in here. Please. If you want to fight, you can go back to Myro on the battlefields. For those of you who don't know, because of the scandal that has been revealed for Phelan, because of the scandal of Phelan working with the Black Roses, Myro has dissolved to the brink of civil war. There are some people who are trying to change the way that the government rules over the land, and there are some who want to continue following their queen's orders.
We're in a civil war arc.
I lean over and I poke Noctis in the back with my staff.
I just look at Noctis.
What of the missing princess? Nothing at the moment. The White Lotus have infiltrated the castle and practically everywhere the princess could have been held. The dungeons, the prisons. She hasn't been found. We don't know where she is.
We still have to do that, don't we?
We do.
Oh,
What makes-
how I wish I would not.
And what makes matters worse, there has been the discovery of an anomaly within the lands of the forest of Myro. It has been causing great disturbances in the kingdom.
What kind of anomaly?
Well, that's the thing. We're not entirely sure. All of our scouts that have gone in haven't come back.
Oh, lovely.
We don't know where they are. We don't know what's causing it. And as I recall, your soldiers are not wanting any part of it either. And the two elven girls just shake their heads. We fear that this is something that is beyond our world. At the worst case scenario. Crachina stands up and he says, from what I studied some magical signatures in the forest of Myro, there has been a spike in magical essence within that forest.
Is there any specific notion as to what kind of magical essence it is?
For all I can attest, it can range anywhere. It can range anywhere from chaotic to lawful, good to evil.
So it is quite literally just a massive hunk of magical energy, all wound up in a little ball in the middle of the Myril forest.
Well, it's mainly been in one central area. And he uses magic to basically make an illusion of a giant globe, and then it spins to over on Myril. Just wanted to check and make sure that you guys were here.
See, Jomini, I told you the world wasn't flat.
I never said that. Okay.
No, yes, you most definitely said it was flat.
I don't. You know what? I'll leave it for now.
I've pinpointed the anomaly right here between Gulon and Aelin, just off of the road of Ellis.
A tear in the rift.
Right.
Judging by how much magical energy is pouring from this specific area, I fear it might be a rift in the plains.
Again.
Have you
Again?
spoken with Yoko, or the goddess of magic?
Krachinos and I have been working together trying to figure out what this is. This only has been seen on Avalon once. And it was
And
hundreds of
that-
years ago.
And what happened when that happened?
Yeah, I'm kind
We're
of
not
curious.
we're not sure. The records of that event are lost. They happened before the War of the Three Gods.
Oh, we're talking about that far back. Okay.
Well, personally, I believe that the solution is simple. Simple scouts can't take care of this anomaly. Send in the heroes.
Who says
Who's
that?
saying this?
This gentleman right over here.
Entire group of party swivels.
The
and-
entire party just looks at you.
Sorry, what did he say? I spaced out for a moment there.
He said,
So
"Why not
you're
send the
saying
heroes
that
to
guy-
look at it?"
Just send in the heroes. They took down the cause of the Black Roses and the blood magic. Surely they can handle a simple magical anomaly.
And one of us died trying. Fortunately, we were able to bring him back.
Very
Yay!
traumatic. Very traumatic experience, might I add.
Oh, you're fine. You're no longer dead.
True.
It could
Squish
be
is
worse,
interested in this.
I'm actually.
am as well.
I actually have a question about this as. I actually have a question about this as well.
Who's saying this?
Pick a random guy.
I'm just picking. Fucking. Let's go. Winter.
Party soul even more.
I actually do have a question about this as well. Prince Noctis, if I presume, correct?
Wait,
First of all, it's a pleasure to meet you.
pleasure.
We've never met before. Hold on. Folders. I'm Clodolphus Migdgar. I'm the Oracle of Winter.
Noctis Eleanor, Wandering Storm.
You don't seem rather concerned, especially about your homeland. You spent most of the month in the Varroa School of Magic, if my understanding is correct.
Well, in my defense, that is my task. At the current moment in time, I do not have any standing apart from the title in Myril. My power there is
But of course, you are still royalty, yes?
indeed.
So, it should have been your responsibility to bring your people back together.
I would
Wait.
love to see this man rule over an entire kingdom. He who forgets his glasses if he sits too long.
I like to think that when the Oracle of Winter says, "Well, he could lead a nation,"
We
the
laugh.
We all laugh. Morgan just speaks up. Have you seen this man try and lead a classroom?
Oh, that I need
Build up.
to see.
To build up
No
on that,
offense to your notion.
Nisavin raises her hand. Cloftus, they do have a point. This man is not fit for leading a nation.
especially not now.
We'll
That's
find
why we're
his sister
trying to find the
eventually.
My plan
We'll
was
find
originally.
his sister.
My plan was originally to find my sister and have her lead the nation, and maybe, perhaps, train in. Well, training is a rough term, but learn. For I have not been in royalty for the past 100 years, and it was only until 3 months ago that I found out I was royalty.
Onaji glances over at Noctis and the rest of the Wanderers. So, are you all saying that you would want to take up the task of finding the princess?
I thought it was already implied that we were doing that.
We
It's
were
on the list.
It's on the list. That's our community service task, other than me having to spend a month in prison
William holds
and
up
pay
like,
250,000 gold.
That's your own damn fault.
Oh yeah, that's right. You guys still owe money, don't you?
Yeah.
It must be incredible to be a free woman, Morgan.
Oh, it really is.
I say we enforce that now. Instead of letting them roam around and do whatever they please, I say we make them do it.
It was already in the top of the list. I think it was already. We were planning on doing that.
We were going to anyways.
I'm not.
Well,
Literally
you've,
just
like,
had to
holding
wait
up a
for me to
scroll?
get out.
I'm not very comfortable about like being. I feel like I'm going to prison already. I feel like we're on trial again. Are we on trial again?
No, we're not on trial again. I am not in shackles this time. Thank the fucking gods.
Anyways, yes, we will find Noctis's sister. I had plans on doing it anyways.
So there we go.
Also, I
So
do
there
want
we
to
go.
add to something as well. Mr.
Great.
Oracle of Winter, I will say as well, I was never informed of any risks, any issues or anything during my time in the Varrock. Had I been informed, I would have traveled as soon as I could. For deeply enough, I do care for my home, even though I do not know it.
You see. You have to catch a glance at the one elf, just like scoff and look to the side. Just like, yeah, right.
I am speaking.
Oregon visibly tenses.
I look over at her. Well, I see you're going to be an issue.
Might I ask what your name is, miss?
Sierra.
And what is your standing in Myrtle?
Currently, I'm one of the heads of the table of the North, who stands with the Queen in her empire.
You stand with the Queen.
Let's double check. The queen doesn't stand for anything right now. She's locked up.
That is all I have to hear. Thank you.
So,
Matter.
the Void Oracle steps up and like
Space boy!
leans over his box, and you could hear him talking and like moving and such, but you don't see a mouth move at all.
It's so freaking cool.
Okay.
It's a mask.
So, as compromised, then, the Wanderers shall search for the princess to settle the civil war, and while they're at it, investigate the anomaly.
I kind of figured
Squish is
that was
just-
coming along.
Squish is just staring down this man. Or woman, I can't tell.
Neither can anyone else.
He is David Bowie. He's an androgynous space being.
That is, if the
He
Wanderers.
is the void.
That is, if the Wanderers so choose so. They did slay Eisen II. I believe that should be enough of service to the route. They've finished off the Black Roses, a task we have been doing so for nearly 100 years.
Really? They've been fighting them that long?
Not to
Yeah.
mention the fact that we're all in fucking massive debt right now.
Oh, speaking of the matter of the
Oh,
Black
no.
Roses.
Normu, we find your sister. We get her the payoff.
I'm not having my sister pay off our debt.
It's a country. It has to have coffers.
Pay off your debt,
Morgan's just
unfortunately,
sitting
I'll have to go
between
with
these
my
two,
own.
laughing to herself because she has no debt.
At any rate, speaking of the Black Roses, how is it going on Father's execution?
That is the top. We are working up to that.
Woo.
So, Wanderers, I take that you shall take the responsibility and head to Myro.
Yep.
That would be safe to assume.
Let's go get the cart.
Oh yes, where is my cart?
It's an Algaroth.
Thank you.
Not quite, guys.
No, the cart.
Just relax a bit. This is Kratchino saying this. Just relax. We still got a lot to go over.
Oh, I thought something happened to the cart.
Forgive me for my impatience. I just wish to see someplace that isn't the sky for once in this last month.
Very understandable, Alicia. We'll get there eventually. I believe this next order of business is something that we all need to address. We've waited a month. He just like ushers over to the speakers, who retreat backstage, and they come back out.
That princess is that Queen Bitch?
I think that's Queen Bitch.
Lo and behold, the wicked bitch is back.
Oh, it's Queen Bitch.
We're not in the box for once.
And out the speakers then bring out Phelan, the former queen of Myril,
Got popcorn.
with, disheveled hair. It's frizzy, it's messy. She's very dirty from being in a cell for this long. Shackles, and she's just forced to sit in the chairs as Onaji stands up and pulls out a scroll and reads, "This hereby begins the trial of Phelan Eleanor
Paul Garrels.
for hereby conspiring against the realm of Avalon and hereby working with..." She's then interrupted by the doors of the hall slamming open.
Ah,
Oh, for fuck's sake.
knew it. Knew this bitch would make an entrance.
You expected anything less from Al and May's daughter?
No, not at all.
Absolutely the
So-
fuck not.
Nice of you to arrive.
Bursting,
you know?
just basically kicking in the damn door and walking in. Onaji stops and looks up and says, "Hino, glad that you were able to join us finally. I assume that you got your letter late, perhaps." "No, Auntie, I got my letter perfectly on time. However, I have 6 simulacrums currently working on different projects around Avalon. I apologize that my time is spread incredibly thin."
So what?
So, what have I missed in the process? Hello, Phelan. It's good to see you again.
World's gone to shit. Now we're trying Phelan for treason.
Oh, an execution. Lovely.
Yeah, sit down. It's I heard the first 2 rows are a splash zone.
Come. I pat the chair next to me twice.
Onaji like rubs her temple. Just sit next to your father. She just walks over to the table. She just walks up to the table and just sits down.
Is it sad that I come to this thinking that Al is the executioner?
Anyway, as I was saying, hereby begins the trial of Phelan Eleanor, former queen of Myril, mother to Noctis Eleanor, who is currently present as stand witness for conspiration against the realm of Avalon and grand treason against the realm of Avalon, treason to the city of Myril and all of its allies. Phelan, do you have a statement? She just sits there.
Oh, come now. You're quite verbal in your cell for this past month. I have nothing to say now.
Hino just lets out a small laugh. Perhaps she already knows that she's already dead. She's just living on borrowed time.
Quite fitting for a righteous bitch.
I would very much like to see how she feels about all of this.
You know, we should probably ask her where she put her daughter first before we end up killing her.
That is a very valid point, sir.
We could. I could if you want me to. See through her mind.
I believe it would be better if Kratronos did that.
He's probably more skilled at it. That's definitely true.
I will forever love how nonchalant we are in front of groups that are very easily able to murder us 10 times over.
And hey, if she does not comply, lightning crackles through my fingers.
I
You can
would
deal with
like I would like to ask that the Wanderers control their bloodlust for just a few minutes, please.
Morgan didn't show any bloodlust. That was Al.
I just wanted to figure out where the kid was.
I mean, Auntie, they do bring up a good point. Just search your memory. Find the daughter, the whole situation in Myril stops. Simple as that. You could always...
I mean, it is the simplest way of doing this. I don't quite see why we haven't done this already.
Kratos, if you
Solved
would.
everything as to where.
It's based off of
This
the
was
rules
this
of
entire
judge.
time?
It's based off of the laws of judgment. She's offered a fair trial, even if her charges are as severe as they were. Kratos, could you please just get this over with? He gets up, walks down the stage, stands in front of Phelan. He holds out his hand and mutters a few words, and you can like see her like visibly flinch. She like shoots back in her chair, like scrunches up her face, and she's doing her damnedest to resist.
That
Guilty.
looks painful.
I'm going to ask you this once, Phelan. Where is the princess? As he finally lets go, she just like lunges forward, looks up into him and says, "To damned if I know. Last time I saw her, I had her in my dungeons. What were you doing with her? Her blood is pure and from the Fae. It was used as a strong catalyst for my research."
Lean toward him, Morgan. We're going to the Feywilds.
Don't say that. You don't know that.
You were using her as a research for blood magic. Your own daughter.
I thought you merely an accomplice. I didn't think you'd actually be one of them.
Their powers of magic were so much stronger than I ever knew of. Even ancient elven magic didn't compare. The potential of blood magic was amazing. I just had to see what it was for myself.
And this is why we had no other choice but to get rid of Athyrus. Twice.
Agreed.
I forgot we did that.
If only Uzuric just gave me more information, I would have made so much progress.
You visibly see a vein pop in Noctis's head before he casts Winter Feather on Azure and starts petting him.
Oh, Al's clenching his fists. You could see the white knuckles in his red skin.
But then again, I had to cease my research. I had to cease my research ever since I first figured out that my son was somehow alive.
Noctis wave.
Oh, when did you figure that one out?
I'm curious about that.
Your trial.
Oh. I guess she didn't know. So her research ended basically when you got locked up.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, even if you were to live, there'd be no way for you to continue with your research. Seeing as how blood magic no longer exists.
What a pity. You tried for power and law.
Oh, it's still possible.
That's a terrifying notion.
Oh, it's still possible. I know there is.
Alicia, she's gone off the deep end. What the hell did you say to her?
Oh my gosh, I'm
Me?
sick and tired of...
Nothing.
Oh my gosh, this is going nowhere.
You know?
You know.
I won't kill her, Father, I promise. I'm just gonna give her... And she just like slowly... She just like very carefully takes off her black glove on her left hand, and you guys can see that her left arm is completely covered in a Faustian burn. For those of you who don't know what a Faustian burn is,
Hi.
it is a permanent marking for those who had great exposure to demons, and it's
It's
marking.
essentially a demonic taint.
Yeah, it's a mark of demons.
Demon scar.
Yep, pretty much. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Can
Wanna
we ask
see?
her father's temper?
I want to see if I could find. I want to see if I could
What you looking
find the
for?
image that I had.
Oh.
Oh.
I had a real.
It's in
I had
our chat, Josh.
like our personal chat.
Yes.
Oh.
It's way
I
the
just
fuck back
imagine
there.
it's something. I
Rosantic.
just imagine it being something similar to like, what is her name?
Give me a second.
Cinder?
Yeah, I could just imagine it's similar to like Cinder's grim arm.
From Ruby. All right,
Yeah.
that's a good comparison, but
You could think of other things as well to compare it to, but
oh, here it is.
Found it, Josh.
Yeah, I got it too. So
Alright.
chat, this is exactly what a Faustian burn looks like. It's like black, red. It's really really cool, honestly.
I'm just gonna drop it in the Avalon chat.
Thank you.
I was just about to do that.
Oh,
Okay.
let's see what this thing is.
Yeah, I got it.
the
Hold
single brain cell that we all share together.
I resent that statement.
Oh, it's dope.
on. Yeah. So she takes off her black glove,
That is.
and then this burn practically goes up her entire left arm.
Looks painful.
And you can see Fei Lin. She's scared. She is very very scared.
Well, that's a thing. Do we actually? We don't know what this is, do we?
Knowledge planar.
Oh,
I'm not smart enough for this, but I'll try.
last time I rolled the launch plane, I rolled a 41. Let's hope it's the same time this time.
You rolled a 1!
Oof.
Holy
It's-
fucking...
What?
And
And
still
I-
beat everyone.
Your nat 1 is
It's a
literally
20.
me rolling a 19.
Intelligence characters.
Let's go.
I rolled a 7.
I'm guessing I don't know anything because it's still natural one, right?
No.
Yeah.
No, you guys don't got it. Sorry. Like, you guys see this thing and you're just like, oh fuck, what the hell?
Could I?
Ugh.
I'm going to raise my hand. Could I have a pardon for just a moment? I would like to see whatever it is that is going to happen up close. For my own amusement, of course.
Would Al know what that is?
Give me a knowledge planar from Al. Add +5 to it.
26. One better than the
1 point better than me.
No.
I would like to point out, Dave, he rolled a 6.
Yikes.
No, Al wasn't exposed to demons that had the Faustian burns.
Okay.
Those are strictly for like higher ranking demons.
Okay. Yeah, his father was only a general.
Yeah. So, Noctis, you said that you wanted to be up close for this.
Yeah.
Alright. Hino just looks over to you and says, by all means, come.
I'm gonna stand right here. In between them, the two of them, just to see.
Man, I wish I had popcorn.
I'm gonna stare straight into Phelan's eyes.
So, Phelan,
Morgan's just gonna be over here acting like a fucking bodyguard. It's what the monks do.
I'll hold squish.
So, Phelan, I'm going to ask you one more time. Where is your daughter? I told you I don't know. What more do you want from me? I give you
Is she
everything I
lying?
know.
Is she lying?
Sense motive.
Oh, can I do that?
I am also doing that.
I mean, why not?
Damn it.
Me and my
Good roll,
6.
bro.
I rolled
I
a
also
9.
rolled a 6.
I rolled a 9. My bad. Dyslexia.
Well, not from a nat
That's
20.
dyscalculia.
I have that too.
You guys get the feeling that she might be telling the truth. I told you I don't know where she is. Last time I saw her, she was chained in my dungeons.
When was the last time you saw her?
2.5 months ago.
Right before you got imprisoned. Alright, so she obviously had either escaped or had been whisked away at some time during our war.
Hino's
All
gonna
that
Hino's
narrows
gonna
it down.
slowly reach towards Phelan's her face. Noctis, you're standing right there, and you can see this. Yeah, Morgan, go ahead and give me a perception roll as well.
Monk.
I'm guessing I don't have to since I'm right there, right?
Wow.
No,
Of all the times to get a nat 20.
yeah, that's she.
Damn.
She's gonna hover her hand right above her face right above her face, and you guys could see that her eyes shift to different colors, similar to what you saw on the battlefield.
Did we go all the way to the God Slayer saying?
No, she doesn't transform. Just her eyes shift.
Yeah, like when she intimidated the shit out of you. Literally.
I don't remember that half, man.
Do you know anybody who does know where she is? Phelan is physically crying in her seat right now. She's weeping. She's like, I don't know where she is. She looks over to
that will be
Noctis.
enough.
She looks over to Noctis.
Does she say something?
She basically looks at you like she's waiting for you to give her the go ahead. You can
didn't answer the question, Phelan.
you can
Do you
see
know
you can
anybody?
see the will to kill in her eyes.
He knows looking at you.
I'm gonna say to Phelan, you didn't answer the question. Phelan, do you know somebody who knows where she is?
Perhaps reward it to. Do you know someone who may know where she is? A personal bodyguard? Perhaps someone that Phelan was close to that also knew the location of the princess? Perhaps a groundskeeper? A maid? A servant?
I have squished on my lap. My money's on fairies.
I told you I don't know where she is. I had my soldiers looking for her ever since she disappeared.
Ah,
So she either escaped on her own, had an accomplice who helped her get out, or she was magicked away.
I'll put money on magic.
Tell
was
me.
she to have escaped or been whisked away? Would you know of anyone who may have wanted to whisk her away, or where she would have went?
The answer is both.
All theoretical questions. You can answer however you may see fit.
If she were to go to anywhere, she would have gone down with the traitors. Anybody who was going against the Empire.
Oh my dear, it is you who is going against the Empire. I'm gonna look at Onaji, and just to get the clear.
It was,
Ask
you know,
something.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna get a look at Onaji to see if she was okay with what he knows about to do.
Hino? Come sit back down. You see her hand ball into a fist, and she takes it away and puts her glove back on. Of course, Auntie.
May I ask, Krachanos, how long has that pocket of weird magic been around for?
We're not entirely sure. Reports of missing people have been coming in for several months now. Could be anywhere from, I'd say, 6 months to maybe 3 years.
Is there a connection to the Feywilds in those woods, perchance?
Believe there is. I remember getting told something about that a while back.
Ishtala raises her hand and says, "There is the connection in the Underdark to the Feydark. Perhaps it's mirroring itself to the forests of Myro."
Here's my theory.
That's a good possibility.
Queen Lady over
William,
there is like she
William,
has very
don't
pure.
need your crackpot theories.
Let Matt
No.
talk. Let Matt talk.
Queen Lady says she's got like fairy-like blood, so that means that maybe she's blessed by the Fae. The Fae, realizing what was happening to her, was like, "Oh no!" and whisked her over fairyland.
Opal,
Now I know nothing about magic, but this is a pretty damn good theory, and I looked at my dad for approval.
Actually,
your
don't
dad leans over to you and whispers into your ear, "Son, the elves,
Yes.
the elves descend from the Fae."
I didn't know that.
his misguidance aside, I don't necessarily disagree with William's assumptions. If
I
the
did not know
princess
that.
did have pure Fey blood, it would make sense that creatures of the Fey themselves would want to have her back within the Fey wild. 'Tis something they are known to want to do. Given her sudden disappearance, if she was not escorted off the grounds by someone sympathetic to the, and I put this in quotes, traitors, then it could be perhaps that she was whisked away by perhaps some form of fey creature, pixies, fairies, or potentially worse.
I really need to read history.
The theory about the anomaly being a rift into the Feywilds is something we did discuss. Yoko, what did I say? We should have just brought this to everybody else instead of just mulling it over with just the two of us.
Woo, smart William.
More minds think, more minds, more ideas. Fine.
Given that
Fine,
people
you
that
win.
go given the fact that people that go near that anomaly don't come back, it is a very good possibility that if they're not just killed outright, that it is a gate into the Feywild. They do tend to crop up every now and again, and once you're there, it's very hard to get back out.
She could be stuck in there.
I'm surprised it took you all that long to figure it out.
Who said that?
You know? I'm surprised it took you all that long to figure it out.
Hey, it took me all of like 12 minutes.
I mean, I've had this idea ever since the two things were posed at the same time.
Well, perhaps I could solidify that thought, or that theory for the matter of fact. The scar. The scar is a literal highway down into the hells.
Al's just rubbing his temples.
Highway to hell, eh?
It's a gateway directly into the hells. Anybody can go in and anything can come out if it weren't for the fallen elite. And according to Yamari, my court wizard, she has noticed that there is something very odd with Avalon.
More so than normal?
Well, being that she's only been here a month, she's been able to understand a lot about this world than most people do. I'd look into that if I were you, Krachinos. Could be interesting.
Fresh eyes help discern more.
Eventually, the scar is going to need to be sealed lest it continue.
That is a situation that we've dealt with for over almost 100 years now. We could deal with it a little longer while we settle the things amongst ourselves. So,
That I don't disagree with. What's next on the agenda?
well, I presume that since we have the knowledge that we already asked for, sentencing.
Well, we can
The oracles-
execute.
The oracles have
Execute her.
The oracles have brought together, and the Oracle of Judgment herself hereby states that the punishment for Phelan Eleanor should be granted to the next in line. So therefore, Noctis Eleanor, being the only known whereabouts and the only known survivor of the bloodline, sentencing is up to you.
I'm gonna look at everyone in the top row, all of them.
Krachinos would have gone back to a seat by
Panorama.
now.
I'm gonna look at all of them. I'm gonna look at Phelan. Dead in the eyes, no emotion.
You can see her like still visibly shaking.
And I'm gonna look back at Opal.
Opal dragged a finger across her throat.
just kill her.
I'm
Just kill her.
I'm going to look at Noctis.
What is Opal? What's her expression like?
She's looking at you eagerly, like very curious as to what you're gonna do.
May I offer some words of advice, friend?
You
Sure.
also, before you do that, you also notice Onyx is finally looking up at what's going on.
Because they think someone's about to die.
Weird.
Said you want to offer words of advice, Alicia?
If your choice is to kill her, that will certainly set a precedence for you as the next nobleman in line for your throne. Executing your own mother to get the throne. It might not look exactly the best, even given the charges set against her. Alternatively, you could have her locked up here in prison, Equium, for the rest of her natural life.
Okay.
It is no pleasure being here, I can assure.
If I may speak my mind openly here, I'm aware that sentencing her for execution would be not a good look on me. However, I will state this right now. I do not plan on being king, at least until my sister is back. So, for anyone who would assume that my execution of my mother, if I was to execute her, was for my own gain, would be sorely mistaken. And I would prove that with my own actions. That is not to say.
You see Phelan's eyes just go wide as she's like suddenly realizing what you're saying. She's like, "Oh God." So I think I know where this is going.
I, Prince Noctis Eleanor, the wandering storm of the wanderers, sentence Phelan Eleanor to death.
No!
Al just looks at Onaji.
And here I thought he was going to wipe her mind and make her a drow.
Now, to give justification to my reasoning, this is no average person. This is not someone who in any way was fit to lead a city, a kingdom, its people. I myself am not fit to lead either, which is why I believe I am in the right mind to say Faden Eleanor is the worst person who could have led, and as it was proven, for her treason and her disgusting acts of betraying the king and her 2 children, sending one to be someone else, losing their memories, precious memories, causing them to live a life of pain every time something is reminded of how everything was lost, as well as a life that is now in question, being my sister's. You, Faden Eleanor, and I'm gonna lean in on top of the railing as close as I can to her face. You are right now nothing. You deserve nothing but death.
What are your
Yeah.
terms of execution, Mr. Eleanor?
Torture.
You see, you immediately see Hito's face go wide with a bright smile.
Oh,
William's
you see
gonna
Al
lean.
go-
William's
you
gonna
see
lean
Al-
the Morgan. You ever notice how
He's-
Noctis is the only elf we ever hear with that accent? Like out of all the
I
elves we've
do.
met, he's
Be
the
fair.
only one.
To be fair,
I do.
was a trial.
Al is also
Would
smiling.
you wish to have torture Balin to death then?
As maniacal and evil as that sounds, and I know that this is probably not the greatest look for a member of the Wanderers,
We've done worse.
objectively. However,
Speak for yourself.
I do believe that Phelan Eleanor is deserving of such a way to go, and I personally would like to be both present and participant.
I know. I hate to
Well,
admit
damn.
it, but I know several methods. If you
I
would
think they
have
got
me
people
do-
for this, Alicia.
I've got my ways.
Fair.
Lightning shoots up my arm.
If I may,
And who's speaking this time?
Hino.
You know,
He know.
Obviously.
I could tell by the tone.
the murder gremlin is speaking.
I imagine, but I don't want to assume.
If I may, perhaps I could be of assistance of this as well.
I was hoping you would.
Well,
With permission from the council, of course.
her fate was in your hands. What you choose to do with her is none of ours now.
Let's tie her to the back of the cart and drag her.
So, Noctis, how about we do this? I could call for one of my associates and have them take her to our city. Then we can go from there. We'll start her off with the workforce.
Elaborate if you may.
Well, we're currently rebuilding. I need labor.
Make her haul stones. Big heavy ones.
Or I can have her clearing out the caves.
By
Whichever.
herself?
Perhaps. There's plenty of things I can do.
Perhaps. I will leave the initial torture up to you, just so long as she suffers and gets knocked down a few pegs, and perhaps understands what it's like to be stripped of who you are. But I would most definitely want to be present for both, well, present and participate for all she's done in her execution and torture.
Well, in that case then, Walter, if you may. And out from her shadow, Walter appears.
Al jumps a little bit. I will never get used to that.
Walter, would you please take this prisoner to Take her down into the mines. Have her start digging and hauling stones. Oh, when she's digging, also, don't give her tools.
I was going to say that. We have a one-track mind, I see.
Don't give her tools. Barely any rations. Make sure she doesn't die or, off herself. Of course, ma'am.
Before they take her away, I'm gonna lean in very close and whisper, I hope you suffer. I hope you repent. I hope you live the rest of your lives in fucking hell, you righteous cunt.
Before Walter takes her away, Al's gonna look at Hino. Have you ever heard of the 6 sailor diet?
That's a basic punishment.
I was in the process of fucking swallowing, Jesus.
That's a basic punishment. That's a basic punishment, Father.
Like
There's
a 6
so much
like
more.
a 6 sailor Jomini?
So Walter walks up next to Phelan, and he just looks down at her and says, "Well, personally, I would be bowing before you, as I am a classy man. However, since you are nothing but a worthless prisoner now," and he just like reaches out and just like tugs her up by the hair. I do know a very, very, let's just say adventurous goblin who would like to meet you. And then he teleports away.
I'm gonna lean away from the thing and again look at Opal. What's your expression look now?
She remains neutral. She remains neutral. She's just like, I understand, basically.
I do not agree, but I understand.
I do not agree, but I understand.
I'm going to... Azura flies over to Opal and lands in her lap. And I'll say back to Squish. Next to Squish.
Still sitting in my lap.
That business attended to. Shall we move on?
Of course. Now that everybody is present, we can begin with our next issue. Being with you, Hino. Knew this was coming. Perhaps I should have brought you Mari. So it would have been better. Hino, you glassed New Jamoria. The entire
You glassed a city?
the entire room just erupts now. Just like, what?
Alright, pause. What the fuck does that mean?
She literally burned the entire city to the ground. There's nothing
Matt,
left.
have you ever played Halo?
Have you played Halo
No,
Reach?
I have not.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, well, Jomini knows what I'm talking about now.
She went scorched earth.
Yes, she
Yes.
went scorching. She went
Okay.
scorching earth on New Jamoria.
I would like to point out
she
that the
raised
entire
it
room
to the
is-
ground.
If the entire room is in an uproar, Morgan is stone-faced. She watched it happen.
Hino's just standing. Hino's just sitting there. She's like got her head rested on her hand, just with a smug on her face.
Alref's just chuckling a little bit.
Well, yes, of course I glassed New Jamoria. What of it? There were civilians in that city. I understand that you and your people needed a place to live. We could have worked something out.
The architect exists for a reason. He could have just rebuilt the city in whatever image you wanted it.
Oh no, I already asked him to do that. He wouldn't listen to me.
Okay, I'm gonna go pee real quick.
Yep.
I drink a lot of water.
And so you took matters into your own hands. Why does that not surprise me?
To be fair, I was acting under the word of our goddess. I was just simply following orders. Plus, I do not understand what I'm being tried for.
Wouldn't necessarily call this a trial, more
No.
a...
No, Alicia, Miss Wingright, I would hate to interrupt you, but yes, this is indeed a minor trial. This is indeed a minor trial. She killed hundreds of innocent people.
Squish speaks up. Why minor trial? She just killed hundreds of people, you just said. If this was anybody else, she'd be on the
If
Speak
this
for
were me, I would
execution.
have my. If this were me, my head would already be in a guillotine.
It's considered.
Morgan
It's
just
considered a
leans down
minor.
to Squish.
It's considered a minor trial because I really do not believe that anybody in this room has the capability of restraining her. Go
That's
ahead and
valid.
go ahead and try.
Al just looks around. I wouldn't try it if I were you.
Not even the giant suit of armor in the back.
What suit of armor? That's just a puff of smoke.
I would like to point out that he is one of the very few survivors of New Drimoria.
Yep.
Is he really?
Yes,
Yep,
he was Valerie's
he
guard.
He was in the city, after all.
He was Valerie's guard, the one who escorted Fafnir out of the castle, remember?
Oh, you're right.
Yep.
I mean, I get it. That place was a piece of shit, but
Well, I still wouldn't necessarily call this exactly a trial. A trial in a trial. It. Oh God, what's the word I'm looking for?
insinuates.
It insinuates some manner of potential innocence.
I'm back.
Innocence for which, no offense, Alrath, no longer has.
And you think I'm innocent?
Oh no, none of us in our family are innocent. But once again, if this is considered a minor trial, lay the charges. What are the charges? Well, several codes of the realm of Avalon have been broken, mainly regards the death of several hundred innocent lives in the city. Okay, well, in that case then, I can debate against that we did send out a telepathic order to everybody within the city that they have less than an hour to leave, which is plenty.
Morgan raises her hand.
Which is plenty of time to leave the city.
Morgan raises her hand. I can confirm this.
And if I'm not mistaken, there are no laws in New Jamoria.
I can also confirm that.
The lawless city who is ruled by the strongest.
That was under the old queen.
Really? Because
Alicia, there
is-
was no queen
There-
after her.
Because those were the rules ever since I was a little girl. And according to and because of the differential in time relativity between realities, was over 100 years ago.
Alicia, I think she's technically correct.
So,
she is correct.
There's no technical. She is correct.
So,
Valerie Mortis lived for hundreds of years.
So, within a lawless city with no rules, where murder is permitted and the city is ruled by the strongest of everyone, I gave out the order, leave the city or you die. Plain and simple.
I wonder how many of them actually took that as a challenge.
I can guarantee you almost all of them.
Everybody that was in the city when the city was glassed. That's their own fault, not mine. Actually, if you think about it, I did New Jamoria better than anything else. I'm not one to just throw such a good potential opportunity away. Because that's what we didn't do. We didn't throw the potential of New Jamoria away. We glassed the city, yes. Hundreds of people died, yes. Do you think I care about those incompetent souls? No, I don't. I have 6,000 people behind me.
I would hate to I would hate to defend such heinous acts. However, she makes a very valid point. I mean, New Drimoria, even after rebuilt by the architect, left to its own demises as it was before, would only be what it was before.
And precisely
Chaos.
that. Precisely that. After I glassed the city, we held a meeting. Well, me and my organization, we held a meeting in order to decide what we want to do with the city. And she pulls out a scroll. And she basically reads off everything that they're planning on doing with the city. Glassing the city and rebuilding it to where it's actually livable. And people can actually live there now. Their plans are rebuilding the city, reestablishing the monarchy, and also building a 4th magic school of Avalon, a 2nd combat academy, a church that is this equivalent to Algoroth's. They are talking with new Father Dur. Fafnir could attest to this because he was there for that meeting. That they're planning on building a sky dock for the airships. And they're planning on rebuilding the Nine-Tail organization, which is a 9-story building. And those are just the start of the rules, or the start of the plans. Oh, and the last thing, of course, I would like you to refer to our new home no longer as New Jamoria. No. Our goddess has spoken. We are renaming the city Feris.
I mean, it'll take some time for the lot of the world to get behind that and actually call it that.
Of course, old habits die hard, but
I mean, considering that that's not New Dramoria anymore, I think a new name is fitting.
Morgan just raises her hand again. And what does that mean for those of us who lived there before this name change?
well, before the name change in the old ways of New Jamoria, if you wish to stay there, you would of course go through an interview process through the Nine-Tail organization. We do keep a census and track of everybody, after all. However, we were talking and we were thinking about the old citizens who survived the glassing, and you would be allowed to stay there. I don't see why not. And perhaps we would even welcome you into our organization, or at least grant you membership. That way, you can benefit from our wealth.
That is a conversation we're going to have then.
It is a conversation I will have to have with the rest of my organization first. But we are currently in the process of building everything.
Very well.
So I ask the oracles and the rest of this meeting one last time. Where am I being tried? The whole room is silent.
Well, I think that does certainly settle that then.
Squish does not agree with your methods.
Don't get me
but-
wrong, Squish. I also do not agree with their methods as well, but the means.
Get in
It's
line,
in
sweetie. You're not the
hand.
only one.
Finish what you were going to say, Cody?
No, Squish would stop talking. He'd bite his tongue.
Very well. I believe that does cover everything. As long as the Wanderers... Also, as long as the Wanderers stay to their plans of finding the lost princess of Byril, investigating the phase anomaly, I believe this meeting is adjourned.
However, Squish does wish to bring something up.
Of course.
There is still the matter of what Squish first set out to do. Banish darkness and Underdark.
Well, wait, Squish, I thought we were going to take care of that ourselves.
We are. Just. It may be too much for Squish to handle alone.
We can still go do it. Of course.
But I think our priorities should be a bit more set on the currently the currently disintegrating political structure of Myra.
We don't want any more people to die, Squish. One war was bad
Squish.
enough.
Squish understand, but Squish want to consult some of most powerful and all-knowing beings in room. Would not make sense?
Void stands up again. Your task of the anomaly is of great importance. You are well balanced, young one. Please, help us with the anomaly and settling the differences. The Wanderers shall be free to do whatever they please.
Besides that, Squish, before we
Bowie.
return them to once they came, I believe we still have a bit of other things that we need for them. Points at Morgan.
Okay, Squish retracts question.
We promised them a visit once before. We'll definitely go back.
Of course.
We may be inconsolable assholes, but we keep our word.
Squish, we both have reasons to go back down there. And
Oh.
we will.
Actually, one more thing. Squish just kind of remembered. I believe her name was Natsu.
Yes.
We were to return her to her mother.
Yes.
Hino,
Another thing that could be put off.
Preferably-
Hino leans forward. We'll talk about that after the meeting.
Thank you.
Hey, we're talking about something here.
Never you mind.
Very well. Oracles, you are dismissed. Everybody can return back to their places in Avalon. And then she knocks on the gavel again.
Poor random dude who's just been in the middle of all of this.
Yeah.
He is legitimately just taking notes of
That is-
everything. He's our stenographer now.
That is Carl. Respect him, please.
That is
Carl-
Carl the stenographer.
For Elysium.
Equium.
Yeah, my bad.
So we're leaving?
Mm-hmm.
We are staying behind because there's a conversation to be had between.
Us and Hino and Onagi
Yes.
and Al, Krachernos.
The major powers that be.
Most of the major powers are going to stay up there and just chat amongst each other for a little bit. Nisavin's going to walk down to Noctis. So I'm guessing I'm not going to see you at work tomorrow.
Probably not. Unfortunately, I was getting quite accustomed to the classes.
It's still shocking to see him teaching.
It's
Believe,
shocked to hear him be intelligent.
believe me, I had to keep a close eye on him.
We believe it.
So, please tell me he did not attempt to teach them the way Krachernos taught him.
I'd rather not talk about that day.
I would have a question though. How was my how would you rate my teaching?
4 out of 10.
Abysmal.
Unfortunately, I can't tell you because I'll be insulting Krachenos. And quite frankly, I don't want to piss him off.
That's probably the better idea.
But
That is probably
you-
best.
you would have to admit, our students are getting stronger, no?
For those who lived.
I don't want to know names,
Oh,
but I need a number.
Gosh, I miss Skylar so much. He was one of my best students.
Was
least-
it more than one?
At least come and visit, okay?
For sure. For sure.
I may have need of you all eventually, so we'll be sure to. Bye.
Just let me know ahead of
Every-
time. I'll make some tea.
Yep. I appreciate working with you, Nisabin.
Of course. Leo? And then these two just teleport out.
With the random soldier.
With the random soldier, yes.
Ah, poor Kyle.
Just randomly naming people now.
No, we don't know them.
True.
I could have taught a fish how to sword fight without it dying.
I mean, I taught you how to meditate.
It's okay.
Everybody.
Wait.
Hey, you weren't the only one who taught her.
I was able to quite get in. Was able to get quite in touch with my inner self for a time in which I was away.
Well, that's good.
That's a scary thought.
Before the powers that be confront us or talk to us or whatever, I'm gonna go towards Opal and could I put you aside for a moment?
Of course.
I'm gonna walk towards a yeah.
Right over here. The speakers are gone. In the meantime, Ishala, Onyx, and everybody from the Underdark, which is everybody, well,
I give them a bow as they teleport away.
you know, the
Head
elves,
nod for Morgan.
the elves teleport away. Fafnir teleports away. Everybody just starts leaving.
Hopping here and there.
Yeah. What's going on?
Azur was still on Opal, so he's gonna climb back to me. I didn't have we didn't have the time, but I forgot to do this. I'm gonna bow to Opal. I thank you very deeply for keeping me alive. Thank you.
Make you roll off camera real fast. She just like picks you, like pushes you back up, and she's just like, no, it's okay. Well, to be completely honest, you should be saying sorry to my brother, but I don't think he actually would have been able to get to you.
Sorry
It's,
for. Well, I appreciate it very much.
It's okay. Honestly, to be completely honest, I didn't even know it would work.
But it did. So either way, you saved my life. I am forever in your debt.
No debts are needed. As long as you're my friend.
Ooh.
I
Oh.
knew someone was gonna react to that.
Roll me a perception check.
Perception check.
John, just get friend zone.
No.
You get-
I think
you
it's
can-
Jomini's trying to friend zone Opal, but
No.
it's not working.
Oh, Opal's trying her hardest too, but she can't help but hide like how red her face is right now.
William looked at Morgan. Paper, shears, boulder. Paper, shears, boulder.
Boulder
Like
parchment
this,
shears.
My
No,
bad.
'cause Noctis is keeping his hair over his ears because they're fucking red as shit.
Morgan leads over to William. 10 gold says they kiss.
I'm gonna.
I'm not gonna bet against you.
God damn it! The fucking. I'm gonna. Oh jeez. No,
And Morgan was not hiding it. Noctis definitely heard.
Noctis. Is going to choose to ignore what he heard.
You just
And-
see Alicia standing there with her hand pledged over her.
Actually,
What?
Noctis, can I tell you a secret?
I'm gonna go in for a hug. Yep, but it's a secret.
I don't want to stay at the church anymore.
Oh, spicy.
Why?
It's so boring. After traveling a year with everybody, I felt like I was free. I want to go back. I want all of us to travel together again, just like we did last month. Minus, the whole war.
Can
Yeah.
those of us here in the pew hear this?
No.
Okay.
I think me and my dad are watching like with Morgan just watching intently to see what happens.
Oh yes, definitely.
Squishy's just kicking his feet.
Alicia is actually actively looking away, and is waiting for a moment to break off to go speak with Onaji and Krachanos.
Actually, Onaji and Krachanos are making their way down to you guys.
I'm gonna.
Who?
Before they get here,
We're
Morgan's
gonna-
gonna look at Alicia.
We're gonna finish the dialogue with Noctis and Opal first.
Okay.
Still, I promise to continue on. How do I word this?
Staying with me?
Yes, I'll grab her hand and with both hands just. What do you do when you clasp it? No, I'll just hold her hand with my hands.
That's clasping their hand.
Yeah.
God, it's moments like these we need a bard.
Just fuck.
And
Roll the cities.
Noctis is gonna take a deep breath and go. Also, do not, please, do not take today as who I am. This is just.
I traveled with you for a whole year.
That is true.
Besides, even though it was wrong, she deserved it. It's only fair, right?
Well, whether it's fair or not is objective or subjective, but this was something for me and for my, well, who I assume is my sister. Regardless, I hope you stay with us. I hope you stay with me.
Absolutely. Let's go back before they think we're gonna start kissing again.
William, just kiss her already.
Noctis freezes.
When William shouts that over, Alicia, just still looking away, shakes her head and looks back as Onaji, Krachanos, Al, and Hino start walking towards us.
Hina's actually not walking over to you guys. She's just waiting over here by the stairs, like leaned up against the stage.
Like the cool
okay.
kid.
I will say this.
She just has her head down, like arms crossed, eyes closed.
Gonna be a loner or gonna join the group?
I can wait my turn.
Very well.
Before they get to us, Morgan looks at Alicia. We're gonna have a chat later. Just the two of us.
Just the two of us.
I'll
Same thing
note
popped in my
that.
head.
We can make it if we
So,
Rob, especially you,
Onaji,
Pat.
Krachanos, and Al walk down to you guys as Noctis and Opal are coming back. Krachanos looks at Noctis and says, "Well, to be completely honest, kid, I didn't even think you'd do it."
What?
That took some balls, kid.
Or the execution.
Yeah, I honestly didn't even think you were gonna let her die. Handing her
My
over to Hino, though? Damn, that's brutal.
My defense. I fucking hate her guts.
Well, I mean, I can't really blame you. Krachanos.
Is he wrong though?
I don't think any of us truly really like her to begin with.
Yes.
And besides, you can't.
Yes, Phelan was a rather large pain in everyone.
We can't. Besides, we can't say you can't speak ill of the dead yet. She's got a long way ahead of her for that.
Yeah. Also, just to clarify, was it not for the, and I'll look over at Opal. Was it not for the people present in this room? She would have left alive, but not unscathed.
You have a point.
I still say you should
if
have
I'm-
changed her into a drow, wiped her mind, sent her into the Underdark. You know, that place where we found that false Hydra. It's already trying to regrow.
Well, that gives her a chance to stay alive, and
That would be too kind.
indeed.
Even
I'm not
if it
exactly
even if it
Um,
is making her live through the hell that he had to.
It's called poetic justice, not justice.
Well, unfortunately, poetic justice is for poets and
I don't
fantasy.
think that's how that works.
To be fair, she's had a long life. I had a short life, and look at how I came back.
From an accident while trying to figure out if my dad was my dad.
Anyway,
More pressing matters aside.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Yo.
how are you all?
I'm doing well. I did traveling.
Spent a month in the woods. Killed a lot of things.
Lost a few students, sadly.
I'm going to need you and Cratchins to check me over when we return to Alroth. If you can't blatantly already know.
No, I can see it, Alicia. It's getting bad. We'll have to look it over again. But unfortunately, situation in Myro is a little bit more pressing.
It is. I will agree with you there. There's a few other things I wished to ask, if that is perfectly fine with you.
Of course.
Part of my sentencing was that my alchemy license was revoked. Although I do plan on leaving the biochemistry behind, I still do wish to create and sell potions, and for that I still need my license.
All you have to do is head back to the Rook School of Magic, retake the alchemy license exam, and then you're fine.
Alright, thank you. I will do
I
that
didn't
as
know it was
soon
that
as-
simple.
I'll do that as soon as time permits.
It's just a reassurance that that alchemists or magic users still know the rules. That's why they retake the exam. If she fails, then well, she has to basically go back to school for about 8 hours.
I've lived as an alchemist my entire life. I'm sure at this point I know the rules by heart.
Oh, I don't have a doubt about that.
It's just my line of research I chose was perhaps not the best. Which, if I may be able to entrust you, Kratronos, would you be able to take my notes on my findings and put them in a lockbox in the Arkle Research Facility?
Do you have them on you?
Well, I just got released from prison yesterday.
So you would have all of your belongings back, yes.
Yes, I do happen to have my books on me.
He holds out his hand. I'll take them now then. Might as well.
I give him three books. They are all locked. They are all locked, as well, with keys. First one is basic poison stuff. The second one is the poison that got me here in the first place, and the second one is actually the antidote for it.
Okay. Just sticks them in his bag. I shall dispose of them properly.
Thank you.
Anyway, I'm terribly sorry that I had to put you all through that again. It's just getting getting everybody's minds working together is rather difficult.
A lot of different viewpoints.
It's very understandable, but we are all here. I am free, sort of, so to speak. And, well, I do believe that, you wanted to have a bit of a party in our honor, last time I heard.
In due time. Next time you're in Algaroth, perhaps.
I see we're going to be heading straight for my role then.
Well, I think decaying social structures are a bit more present than a cake.
Solving civil unrest tends to be more important.
I just wasn't in the mindset to be set directly back into the field, right? At least.
Don't worry, we'll make sure you're ready. See you, right, Morgan?
Why are you putting this on me?
Well, actually, you're not.
Because I don't do anything alone.
Actually, you're not going to be running directly back into the fight, so to say. I have a little mission for you guys since you're going to be leaving directly out of Equium. He hands out a folder, like a vanilla envelope, to the party.
Yoink!
William's immediately gonna. Oh wait, did he hold up multiple or just one?
Just one.
God damn it! William's gonna try and grab it and miss it.
Nope.
I need that.
It's in Morgan's hands now.
I need that letter delivered to the First Page Grand Library.
Right in Morgan's bag of holding.
How far away is First Grand Library?
Not that far.
Oh, it's maybe a day's walk right out of here.
From Equium, you guys would head down to Nixie. It's about a 2 to 3 day walk. It's not that far.
How many miles?
Long enough for you to do your thing, Cody.
Yeah, long enough for you to do your thing.
What's this thing?
Squish can get us there rather quickly if we wish.
I mean, the faster the better.
I'm in no hurry. I'm in no hurry at all.
I've done enough walking around. It doesn't matter.
I never mind walking.
Well, we
But we
do
can-
want to get to the Elven Kingdom, don't we?
Yeah, but we should also probably get the cart.
Yeah.
The cart is waiting for you in Nixie.
Oh, lovely.
All yours.
Look at that. The cart just
Thank you for that,
follows.
by the way, Kretchinus.
You're welcome. All right, Mother Alrath, we should probably get going. Alrath, you have many, many papers to fill out.
You,
Think of it th-
blue one. Pointing at Noctis.
Dewey.
Trying to figure out what the blue one was.
That took a lot of balls. But don't let it go to your head having that much power.
No, worry not.
I did that. It turned out badly.
Well, you did have an entire kingdom.
Yes, keyword, have.
Had.
Past tense.
I do appreciate the word of advice. But like I said, I do not think it plan on being a king anytime soon.
Don't worry, if Noctis does something stupid, we'll make sure to throw him out of a very high window.
Yeah. I have all these
You
fuckheads
can
to look after me.
You can rest assured, I will keep his ego in check. I have so far.
Ego.
Nope will keep his morals in check.
So
He
that
has
means,
so far.
so I'm assuming you're going with your friends then, Opal. She gives her a confident nod.
Good. Maybe a smart woman will actually get some sense into this group.
I take offense to that.
Lisa,
As
you're
you
smart, but
should.
you're not that type of smart.
Ah,
It's
perhaps.
she's been traveling with group for a year. If it hasn't imparted yet,
Perhaps I should probably go with you all. Kratos, if you wouldn't mind taking me back to Vortica. Of course. Very well. Son, safe
Hi,
travels.
Dad. As do you, Dad.
The rest of you, keep this one in line.
What have I? What?
Keep this one
Have
in
a nice-
mind. I don't need him wrestling bugbears in his sleep again.
Have a nice day, Soglican.
I will be sure to punch him if he does it.
I don't have any bugbears to wrestle.
Alright, and then Krachenos takes them all and teleports them out.
Have a nice day, Miss Glickman.
My dad. Wiggy, wiggy, wiggy.
Very well.
So, are you all finished?
Yep.
I believe
I
it
would
is your
believe so.
turn.
Very well. She takes her finger and she like makes a cutting motion into the air and it opens up a portal.
Don't tell me.
And she gestures towards it.
Well, that's still very interesting to see.
William's gonna just slowly stand.
Morgan's
I
still
walk through
carrying
the portal.
Squish and walks over to the portal.
Oh, why can't we just walk? I'm sick and tired of teleporting. William just walks through mumbling about being sick and tired of teleportation. Holy shit!
Holy shit.
That is a nice room.
That is sick as fuck. Oh, that
I'm
is
loving
so
this
sick.
POV you've created, Josh.
Oh, that is the
Sorry,
sick.
but the back behind the throne looks like the fucking neck of a dragon, and I love it.
I
So-
think William's just mumbling. Holy shit!
So you guys are talking amongst yourselves, like talking about the portals and such.
No,
and-
this comes through like, oh, you have to teach me this fucking trick. Holy shit.
So you guys walk through, and it's like you're walking into the castle in a city. Walking into this, it is a massive like Lord of the Rings styled throne room, and it's empty. Well, save for Hino in her kitsune form, sitting at the throne. Currently with a small white puffball on her lap, and she's petting it.
I thought you said Faris was still under construction.
Morgan gives a slight bow.
The city of Faris is still under construction.
Faris is still under construction. You're in my throne world right now. You're in a separate pocket dimension, so to say.
Throne
World?
Yes, you're basically in a separate dimension.
Oh, you definitely have to teach me this trick.
It's very
No,
advanced.
but you do not get a throne world.
It's very, very advanced magic.
I've heard of this type of magic once before. A few times, actually. That's pretty much how Cycrix was able to house the plane of, house his line of blood magic. When we entered to slay Aizen 2, we effectively entered his home throne world.
I swear on my parents' graves, if either one of yous get a throne world, I will skin you both alive.
You don't have to worry about that from me, unfortunately.
Most I can become is a
Line.
head hunter or a monasteric leader.
My line of work doesn't lead to this level of magic.
Squish won't want.
Practice if he studies hard enough. Might be
Squish.
able to do this.
Squish. Your throne world's up in the sky.
Alicia, you have no idea how much I want to have my own wizard tower in the pocket dimension.
Morgan just pets Squish. Squish, you're too bright.
Well, it is possible. But first of all, I want to thank you all for well, first of all, entrusting me to simply walk into my throne room.
Oh, let's be honest. If you were gonna kill us, you would have done it a long time.
Well,
If you're going to kill us, you wouldn't have spared us during the war.
well,
Not to
then-
mention the fact
Squish
that
does not trust you.
not to mention the fact that I appointed you as my executioner.
True. Oh, Gutan thanks you, by the way.
What?
My
I
assassin.
assume that's a torturer.
My assassin. He's currently having a lot of fun with your mother.
Sounds dirty.
Without me.
This raises several questions.
Oh,
Well, hmm?
After that,
Thing for elves, I take it.
I do want to say, Squish don't trust you.
to be
But-
to be completely honest, I don't really care. There's not a lot of people who trust me.
I mean, it's hard to trust someone who, well,
Looms over their power.
People innately distrust those who are able to beat them.
very true. It is also hard to trust someone who's part demon.
Alicia, wouldn't that be the pot calling the kettle black?
Your shadow's legitimately a demon lord.
Except I'm not half demon.
Are you sure about that?
We don't know.
Squish don't care about demons or
I'm
stuff like
pretty
that.
Sure.
It's my morality, isn't it?
I just get off 5 from you.
That's fair.
Did Squish just say vibe?
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did. I'm ignoring it, but he did.
Squish can now call vibe checks.
I didn't call vibe checks to begin with.
Squish, the Oracle of vibe checks.
The Oracle of Vibes.
So he's a DC superhero who can dances to produce waves of energy to attack his enemies.
There's also a DC superhero literally named Vibe.
That's who I was talking about.
So,
I believe you brought us here for a reason.
of course. All my actions have reasons behind them.
And what would be the reason for this one?
Well, personally, I would first wanted to thank you. She just leans down and lets her little pet run free. She just runs up and starts sniffing Squish.
Oh, that's just too adorable.
Squish licks his lips.
No.
Morgan pats his nose. That's not
Okay.
food.
Anyway, first of all, I wanted to personally thank you. Without your help, who knows what would have happened to my world. Quite personally, if it weren't for you all helping Krachnos with that ritual, I never would have been able to escape the Astral Sea.
How did you all end up in the Astral Sea to begin with?
Made a deal with the 6 gods of our world.
Fair enough.
I'm not going to question it.
Must have been traveling for quite some time, though. That place is massive.
5 years. 5 years of living in fear. The possibility of constantly being attacked by astral monsters. Ever thinking, will I ever get these people home?
They're not all from this plane. They're from different planes, aren't they?
They chose to come with me. They heard what Avalon could be. Or what it used to be. And I wanted to offer them that chance of life. So,
Everyone deserves freedom.
and the 5 years of singing in the Astral Sea.
I'm sorry, did you say singing?
So I take it you don't like shanties.
I don't like shanties at all.
Well, let's find this woman some opera.
I'm pretty sure she would more prefer the screams of those she
I
killed.
Basically what opera is.
I would like to just sit and listen to the rain of wealth rain down upon me once again. That's all I want.
Material.
Or karaoke night again. That was fun. Nevertheless.
Ye
Pirate,
are a
karaoke.
pirate.
Nevertheless.
Morgan punches William.
William's not saying that was completely just that.
Doesn't change what I said.
Nevertheless.
Because you're thinking it.
The main reason why I called you, the main reason why I wanted to speak with all of you is because I wanted to offer you a position in the Nine-Tail organization.
Squish refuse.
I'm
That's
interested.
fast. We didn't even give the lady a chance to speak.
With all due respect.
I understand where your decisions lie, Squish. But the Nine could offer you some very, very good benefits.
Squish want to see more about what 9 is about.
Would we get free dental?
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm sure it's probably better than whatever that college was offering you.
I mean,
You know what? You know what? That is a good idea. A good idea. What would you like to know about my organization? How can I convince you with what we have?
Not so much about what you
What do you
have,
stand
I'm sure
for?
you- What do you... Yes. What do you stand for? What do you... do? What
May Squish speak?
entails becoming a member?
Where's my binder? Hold on. No, we thought this out. We thought all of this out.
I know you guys have.
Ugh.
And, like, I'm definitely like one of the people that's gonna be a bitch to convince.
So, Squish is going to speak his mind here. When 9 came to Avalon through means of our own actions, you came in giant ships from Astral Sea and rained fire upon friend and foe. Squish has many concerns about what you as people stand for and what you find right and wrong.
William's just gonna go down the Squish. Trust me, little buddy. You're not the.
Given how she spoke about the glassing of New Dramoria, I would assume that they stand for whatever it is their goddess, as they call her.
I want to hear it from
Yes.
Eno. I don't want to make assumptions. I want to hear it from the boss. Because no offense, we all know the goddess is. She's the metaphorical boss that you used that you use when you're trying to get around or circumvent something.
And
That is called a
this-
figurehead, leader.
And
Thank you.
this is the reason why I wanted to extend this offer to you. You're smart.
I
You
want
are,
to go that far. Noctis is in the room.
you are already smarter than 90% of the world that we come from.
Well, that definitely says something about the general intelligence of the people with which you once had to live with.
It was
Agreed.
It was infuriating.
Yeah, I believe it.
I
Although it
believe
must have been beneficial being the smartest one in the room at all times.
Especially with my background. My mother, one of the most successful businesswomen in the world, talented assassin. My
And your father.
father being the most intimidating man on the planet. Does have their benefits with it. And I use that knowledge in my world in order to survive.
Hey, whatever you gotta do to survive, I won't knock that.
However,
You,
to answer
have
to answer your question, the Nine-Tail organization, first and foremost, is a business. We think in the mindsets of business people, because that's what I am. We started off as a simple black market and grew through the help of some individuals that I've made deals with. And those individuals are very, very well off right now.
Mm.
The Nine-Tail organization, as it originally was and we're reconstructing it to be, was a 9-floored building, essentially, that dabbled in many different services. We used to call it the 9 Pleasures. However, we're rebranding that.
Probably for the best.
Well, that's what it
Given the
was.
symbolism, I would assume it's based off of the 9 hells.
Precisely. I despise hell.
Well, you've been there and back, haven't you?
Oh no. No. I obtained my powers through the abyss. Hell is different.
My apologies.
Hell
I'm not
is where
well versed.
Hell is where devils come from. They are naturally lawful creatures.
In my defense, I'm not very well versed in almost anything, excluding how to be a slave and the teachings of the giant rock kaiju.
Well, then allow
William?
me to enlighten you a bit about the darker side of things.
Look at me.
The abyss, where
Yeah, I know that much.
my shadow came from, and where most, if not all, of Lady Akamahu's power came from, is home to the demons, which are naturally chaotic creatures.
They're
who
dumb.
seek to spread evil at all costs.
I don't like
Devils,
them.
on the other hand, like to play businessmen and women, mostly. They usually try to create deals in order to gain souls that then further their own fiendish.
So one's a gang, the other's a mob.
Precisely.
Which do you think I am a part of?
A gang.
And you would be wrong. I am descended of the hells.
My
Precisely.
apologies. Then you're part of the mob. I thoroughly enjoy Williams. Just only has street smarts about things, so he has to put in that logic.
The entire original plan of the Nine-Tailed Organization was to basically amass an army against the great devil Asmodeus. That was my original plan.
Wish to challenge Asmodeus himself?
I wish to crush Asmodeus beneath my foot. Especially
Obviously, something stopped that.
sidetracking, really.
Fair enough.
My reason for hunting Asmodeus down is that for what he did to my father. According to
What
my,
did Asmodeus do to Al?
Father?
according to my father's stories about my grandfather, Asmodeus sent my grandfather out to find soldiers, and thus essentially began raising his own army by kidnapping people.
Ugh.
And this is where my grandmother comes into play. You can ask my father about his past if you so choose. To put it lightly, my father didn't make the ranks at his age. My grandfather failed to see what potential he had. So, he sent him away. Asmodeus recruited my grandfather and sent him against Avalon. My father, growing old now, and my mother being incapacitated, I want to take up that mantle myself and crush that bastard beneath my foot.
All right.
However, I adopted responsibilities of 6,000 individuals, not to mention the rest of my organization. Whether or not they choose to come with me into the hells and destroy it, perhaps I can at least hinder its grip that it's had on Avalon for over 100 years.
Well, as I mentioned back there in the meeting hall, the scar is going to have to be closed eventually. We certainly can't allow it to persist. Let it persist too long, it becomes a permanent part and then begins spreading.
Precisely. So, it is a smaller goal of mine to close the scar. To close the scar
Mostly
and
mostly
rid
to
Avalon of
destroy
its world. Yes, basically. Are you all aware of exactly what's happening in Avalon?
Honestly, no.
As much time as I've spent traveling, no.
This place just kind of seems weird.
That's because it is. This anomaly that's happening in Myril, the scar, even the bridge between the Feydark and the Underdark. They're all connected. It took Yumari quite some time to figure it out, but they are related. Avalon is a bridge between the planes of the Aether.
Or a Nexus hub, basically what you're saying.
Yes, we are a Nexus hub. And that's
Is there a possibility of them all merging into one?
No.
Good.
It's not possible for them to merge into one. However, these anomalies that keep popping up everywhere and disturbing the balance within Avalon will eventually destroy it.
Is there not already a other world of sorts for all of the planes?
You got to speak up, Dave. I can't hear a word you're saying.
I am sorry. I am speaking Alicia's voice and I forgot that it's that quiet. Is there not already a sort of hub world for all of the planes? I thought I read about that somewhere.
No. There's the Aether that you can use to travel between the planes. We're still looking into this. But I just thought I'd let you all know. There are anomalies all over Avalon. I mean, hell, we were even close to one.
There's one at least.
There's one on Equium.
Is there?
That would make sense.
The rest of the world leaders don't know about it yet, but yes, there is one.
That would make sense.
Where's
I
that
don't
one
think that
go?
is going to pose any sort of good.
Unless if the planes can talk to separate realities of themselves, probably not for me, but getting back on topic.
What does the Nine-Tail Company stand for?
We are a company that doesn't take shit from people.
So essentially what we do now.
Basically.
More organized version of us.
A much more organized version, yes.
To be honest, we're not very good at organized.
Our disorganization is what makes us a threat to people.
Oh, definitely.
And a hindrance to ourselves.
This is also true.
Quite, yes.
We're coming into this world seeing everybody as incompetent monkeys. And, well, we were partially correct.
I mean, if you're looking at the mass general populace as a whole, quite.
People are stupid.
And they'll remain ignorant forever unless they choose to step up.
Precisely.
Let's be honest, they're too lazy to do that.
Or they're more preoccupied with their own lives.
Our organization originally traveled the world fixing problems that could have been very easily solved if the dragon gods of their world weren't incompetent assholes.
It reminds me of the situation here.
Agreed.
Oh, it was much worse. It was much
Gods are
worse.
all incompetent assholes. Let's be honest.
You guys, okay, this world wasn't dumb enough to let the four horsemen of the apocalypse run free.
All right, fair enough.
No, but they were dumb enough to let Hell escape.
Oh, speaking of,
They didn't really have much of a choice in that matter.
no, they
From
didn't.
what I understand of the scar, it just ripped itself open one day.
Ask my father about that. He'll tell you the whole story. Speaking of the four horsemen of the apocalypse, actually, she waves her hand, and a book comes floating down the staircase, and floats in front of Noctis's face. Hold on one second.
A book just animates itself and flies down the stairs.
I'm
Noctis,
scared.
I swear to God, if you touch that book before she tells you what it is, I'm gonna hit you.
You know,
And you're not gonna survive a hit from me.
I was thinking to detect magic, but I'm afraid I'll go blind again.
You will.
If I were
If you survive William's hit, you're getting hit from me too.
you, I would start reading this. This contains the information of all of the four horsemen of the apocalypse,
I'll grab the book.
and as much information as we can get on their home plane, Abaddon. This book was entrusted to me to you from Yamari, so that way we don't have the same problem as we did in that world.
Appreciate the trust.
It means
So, God,
we're
if you
going
lose
to
that book, I'm
eventually
gonna hit
have-
you.
It means we're eventually going to have to fight them, because eventually they're going to come to this world.
Not as long as they're not summoned. This
I think we both know that someone is going to summon them.
this is just a precaution, so that way you all can keep an eye out for it.
Elisa, who's gonna try and summon them?
Do you really
Oh,
want the answer to
no.
that?
I don't know. There were people who were trying to make a god out of a dragon using blood. Anyone could.
So as long as Noctis isn't a moron, which is very hard, and he doesn't lose the book, we're fine.
Perhaps we shouldn't entrust it to
If you're
maybe
going
someone
off
like
of
Morgan?
what Miss Hino said, the book does not contain the ritual to summon them, just information about them.
Oh, it does.
Noctis, give me the book now.
I'm gonna mage hand it back to Hino.
Oh no, it was for us.
I'm aware. But the book was, well, magically handed to me. I personally do not trust myself enough to keep it in one place.
Which is why I said to give it to me.
She's gonna use her telekinesis to give it to Morgan.
Right in the bag of holding it goes.
Perfect.
And if you want to read it, you do under full supervision of Opal.
The book is completely safe to read.
It
Just
doesn't
don't want
mean
him
that
to
we don't
lose
trust
it.
him.
Understandable.
This
No, I
man-
just kind of want to stick Opal and Norm Noctis in a room together.
My comment about him losing his glasses within an hour was not wrong. He literally did that.
He lost delicate shards in a church.
In my defense, I'm amnesiac.
But, okay, we didn't get your memory back, per se. But you
Everyone-
goddamn figured it out.
Everyone has their faults.
Indeed.
This is
So,
true.
we just don't take the incompetence of other people lightly. And to
As
be,
we very well just proved.
and to be
You're talking to the wrong people.
and to be completely honest, we don't want trouble. We don't want to cause problems here on Avalon. So if that was one of your main concerns, then no need to worry.
What if, say, we don't want to join organization?
That's-
Could we perhaps set up a joint effort?
So you're offering something along the lines of your deal with my mother.
Some form of alliance without us being necessarily members is what I believe he's trying to get at.
We enjoy our freedom very thoroughly. having
I-
work underneath the thumb of anyone.
Well, I can't speak for my fellow comrades, but Squish wishes to. Hard to say.
You don't want to be under the authority of anyone other
Than your
own
god.
goddess.
No, it has
No?
nothing to do with that.
Go to use real words, and then we'll put it in squish words.
Cody is
You
lost
don't-
at words.
You
Cody is
don't.
squish at the moment.
Pretty much, you don't really trust or care much for Hino, so you don't want to be a member of the organization, but you do understand that she has a lot of power that she can offer.
It's more, it's more along the lines like we both have things that we can provide to each other, but I just do not trust the organization as a whole as of yet. Yes, there's Hino at the top, but we don't know anything about anybody else in
So
said
what you're saying is a Venom type situation. Eddie doesn't trust Venom. Venom needs Eddie.
I
I
guess I've never seen.
have a
the movie.
question to the DM.
Sure.
Umari is the wizard.
Yes.
I do have a few inquiries about the Nine Tails and what you can provide for us, if I may.
Of course. Ask any question you all wish.
Now look at the group. I personally would like to grow in power. Not for, well, yes, for my own gain, but also for the sake of those I care about. And William, I swear to God.
Hmm?
I heard that breath.
That was me. That was Morgan, not William.
I
Okay.
was reading memes on my phone, so I'm really confused.
I stopped myself because that's a conversation to have in private.
But go on.
I do wish to, I guess, become more acquainted is not the right word, for I'm already acquainted, but I wish to become more knowledgeable and powerful in the land of the arcane.
Yumari can teach you.
That is what I was hoping to get at. I would, maybe not teaching, but guidance and, well, no, teaching, yes.
Yumari can definitely teach you. I'm assuming you were trained by Crotchnos, correct?
Yes, for a short while, but
Yumari can
Yes.
teach you things that even Crotchnos is limited to do.
that is what I imagined. I'm scared to even detect magic in here. I cannot imagine.
I wouldn't try.
Yeah, I figured.
I myself would hate to blindly accept an offer to join when knowing scant to none about the other members of your organization, which we would then be partners with.
Surely you have somebody in mind.
Not necessarily any one in particular in mind. Although I would like to get to know all of them a bit more personally before I made my decision.
You're an alchemist, correct, Miss Wingright?
Well, I'm going to be abandoning that path for the most part. I'm going to be focusing more on my artifice.
Yumari would be a good match for you as well. Shame you're leaving alchemy, though. My alchemist, Medell, would have very much have liked to take you under her wing. She's been looking for an assistant for quite some time.
Well, unfortunately for her, I've had a change of heart in my studies of alchemy.
Understandable. Miss Morrigan?
I myself would like to know more of your organization, well, and information. Before I make a decision.
Walter would be able to help you with that. Walter is the head of my informant gathering. Along with my hitman, Gutan.
I do not believe we've met.
No,
Guton.
you have not met Gutan or my alchemist Medell. Medell is currently dealing with legal issues with her potions.
Looks at Alicia.
Looks at Alicia.
Yes, they are quite, they aren't quite as lenient on experimental here, unfortunately.
Or
We created a neurotoxin.
or true resurrection.
I'm sorry, come again?
True resurrection?
They don't believe in true resurrection. Medell gave up the opportunity to create a sorcerer's stone for the ability to make true resurrection potions.
Well, the gods around here, and for most evangelists around here, are very much believers of the circle.
I'm very well aware of that. Which, speaking of Medell, I still have a body that I need to dispose of.
Alright?
If
Yes, about
if I am in the right line of thinking, I believe you'd be talking about
Not so.
Naotsu.
Correct.
Let's take her to her mother and tell her she died.
I actually would. I feel better if we brought Natsu back to her mother still alive.
Agreed.
You're kidding me. After
Given
all the pain and suffering she caused everybody, you want to bring her back. Just
William,
so she
look
may
me in
have...
the eyes and tell me that I'm kidding.
Oh, they'll look you in the eyes. I can hear from your voice.
When have you known me to joke?
Never.
Exactly.
I may be sarcastic, but
That
we rarely
Kitsune,
joke.
Nagatsune, whatever she was, caused so much pain and suffering. Sure, father was the real mastermind, but she worked with him. She went along with him.
You ever think
She
that
almost
maybe it's a
killed-
possibility that she didn't do that by choice?
No, never raised my head, because she very much seemed like an angry teenager who wanted to get out of her mother's shadow and fight against the...
Are you speaking from experience?
Technically, no. I kind of got shipwrecked and got... It's a story. You know the story.
I know the story.
I can't be an angry teenager. I'm 27. Besides the point.
I know what it's like to be an angry teenager.
I mean, that's nice. You have to be a teenager.
I was a child at 27.
Shut up! I'm a human!
Bitch, I was
get
a
it.
child at 27.
I get it! I don't live 100 years naturally, you idiots!
I'll tell you what. She's gonna like swivel her hand a little bit, and there's gonna be a vial that appears, and she's gonna use her telekinesis to send it over to the party. This is a potion of true resurrection.
I'll take it.
Morgan takes it from Alicia.
You snatch goblin.
This is a potion of true resurrection. Naotsu Himiko's body is currently in the Underdark. Her body is being preserved by Yumari's magic. I'm giving you 6 months to make a decision, which is plenty of time. To make a decision amongst yourselves what you wish to do with her. After 6 months, the body will decay, and the potion will be unusable.
Understood.
Anyway, Mr. Glickman,
Mm.
for what I've gathered in information,
Charming.
you were once a slave.
Yeah, I got the mark to prove it too, your point.
Under what company of slavers did you get captured by?
I want to say it's the only one in Avalon, but I'm not sure about that. The Solar Sanctum or something along those lines. I don't fully remember. Solar something.
The Solar Servants.
Yeah, those
Yes.
fuckwits. Stole me as a kid, kept me there for years. Only reason I escaped is because a goddamn storm destroyed the ship, and I washed up on the shores of Winter Hollow.
It's a fairly uneventful story, if you've asked
Yeah,
me.
it's a fairly uneventful story. You know, surviving a shipwreck, swimming the shore, passing out, then getting taken in by a monastery.
Sounds like you want to get revenge.
Oh, hell yeah, I do. But I'll do things my way.
And how do you plan on doing so?
Find them and beat the shit out of the people at the top. Top follows. It's as soon as the top falls, the people under are free.
And how do you expect to get to the top?
Haven't
Wouldn't you need to get through the rest of the people first?
To get to the top of the mountain, first you must need to climb it.
You're a monk of the mountain. You should know this.
Ezekiel.
You see William's face is very aggravated at this point.
It won't be so easy as just walking into their base and challenging their leader.
Hino snaps her finger as a portal opens up to her right, and Ezekiel walks through.
Oh, not him again.
You called, ma'am? Yes. I was just checking up. Don't we have that meeting with the Solar Servants in about a week?
William immediately eyes shoot daggers at
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, we got a meeting with them to discuss some business. I thought you knew that.
doing business with them.
Oh no. We're not doing business with them. We're destroying them. As part of our organization deals with slaves.
There was a face of unbridled anger on William's face that's never been seen before.
Morgan's holding William back by his hair.
Part of our organization deals with slaves, Mr. Glickman. However, we are not like other slave traders.
I beg to disagree, but go on.
Actually, she ain't kidding. Yumari was a slave. Her Majesty bought Yumari right off the market. Now look at her. She's one of the strongest wizards ever.
Charming. That means Sohino is benevolent.
No, it's simply because I don't believe in slavery.
Well, that's appreciated. But how can somebody who doesn't believe in slavery deal in slavery?
She could be, quite convincing.
I mean, it's not necessarily slavery if everyone around you is too afraid to upset you to say no.
Oh no. Oh no. Yumari, we all have free reign. We can do whatever we want. We can
Come and go as you please.
Absolutely.
Then no one's a slave. You're an employee.
Yeah.
So why use a term such as that?
We dabble in slave trading because we do seek out darker sides of the market for people like Yumari, for people like Eve.
You basically go into the cornfield and find the best stock in there and take it for yourself.
If necessary. However, the Solar Servants and their associates here on Avalon are quite dumb when it comes to their trading network. It was rather easy to find.
I spent 6 years.
And you could get all of that revenge you want back. You're free to go, Ezekiel. Go on. Go back to doing whatever you were doing. Alright.
He was spanking his monkey.
Probably.
The question is, which one?
The answer is always yes.
Agreed.
Mr. Glickman, I can give you release.
That is the perfect
I can give you release
follow-up
after...
to what me and Dan were just talking about.
Mr. Glickman, I can give you release for all those years of torture and pain you have suffered with the Solar Servants. I can offer you that. My associate Eve, this offer could extend to you as well, Miss Morrigan. She is my best monk. Perhaps you can pick her mind for a few things.
I will find out more about what you stand, but I will not join you for such a petty notion as revenge. I wish, as much as your offer is tempting, knowing that as much you're going to destroy, please. Like he's saying this through his teeth. Like he wants to do it, but he knows better than to just do something out of just the seething rage he feels for you. I'm not saying that I may not join. I just want to know. Walking in blindly to a dark cave, you're bound to trip and fall.
Unless you can see in the dark.
It's not applicable. It's a metaphor, Morgan. It's a metaphor.
Very
Doesn't
well,
change what I said.
I can offer you all so much. You all can get so much stronger. And fulfill your dreams. You could take your time, deciding whether or not my organization is fitting for you. Our kingdom is open. At least come and say hello once in a while.
Well, I can't very well get to know your people if I don't.
However, I would like to hire you all for something.
If it's money you're offering, then I'll listen.
I'm always available for money or information.
I am in desperate need of money.
William just looks up, not saying a word.
Wish willing to help.
Let me go back into my notes. I'm in need of information.
Oh?
What kind of information?
And how the hell can we give it to you?
Back in our world, there was once a city that was ruled by a golden dragon. It was a city built on lies and false hope. We do not want our city to be like that. We tried to show the world exactly what we can do. We opened the city's eyes to the corruption that it was. They wanted none of it. I want information in regards to what those people of Avalon want from the Nine-Tail organization.
I can guarantee you at the moment the people want to know what the Nine-Tail organization stands for.
You're unknown. You're scary to them. This world has been sitting comfortably in things that they've known for a long time without change.
The sheep fear the wolf that they do not see.
You also did kind of raze an entire city to the ground. I'm sure they're utterly terrified at the power in which you possess and fear that you may turn it against them.
But hearing from the people who saved their world, exactly that the Nine-Tail organization don't want war. Just a place to live. That's all we want.
So instead of necessarily being information gatherers, you wish us to be heralds.
Heralds, but information gatherers as well.
Get the soapbox.
I don't see why we can't do this. It'd be an interesting way to get around the world again. Besides, I too wish to know what the people of the world think, not just of you, but of, well, quite frankly, us. Given that, other than the Nine-Tails organization, we are seen as the guardians of all of Avalon.
That's a scary thought.
Absolutely.
Too much responsibility, I would say.
Downright terrifying.
Precisely.
I never wanted to be a hero.
None of us did. But we chose what we had to do in order to survive.
Quite frankly, I just wanted revenge against the Black Roses for what they did when they first stopped us in Avalon.
I seek to destroy the Black Roses for my parents.
And I seek to destroy them because of what they did to me.
Our goals were aligned at the time. Now we must know if they still are.
This is very true, and I think a journey around the world may prove useful to all of us if our goals are still within alignment of each other.
Mm-hmm.
But first...
The
there
problems in
is-
Myril.
The problems in Myril, yes. The other oracles, and as well as the minor gods, are kind of forcing their hands upon us at this time.
That doesn't sound like fun.
Puppet masters is what they are.
This is why I don't follow any of them.
At least we all have one thing in common then.
The gods and their servants are the reason why my parents are no longer alive.
And the gods are to blame for the lack of strength in this world.
Oh, they were kind of gone for a while.
That
And
has
the
no
time
bearing
before
on the
that-
strength of the world.
And the time before that, they absolutely refused to help one of their own kin.
My knowledge of history isn't too.
I believe she's talking about her own family with that one.
Indeed, I am.
Oh. There was one more thing. Two, actually. The second one's really not that important.
You have my attention for both.
This would probably revolve... I would say around you, Mr. Eleanor.
What was that? Sorry, I was drinking water.
This would probably revolve around you most of all, since you are closer to Krachanos.
Indeed. Well,
They have to have notes in regards to traveling through realities in order to break through the astral sea like they did.
Actually,
About
That was
that's
not them.
that's where you might be a little wrong. Though they may have research left over, and they were attempting to do that. Almost all of that ritual was planned out by the gods.
in yeah, on
And
top of
enacted
that,
by us.
They have to have something.
I have been researching the planes, but not necessarily how to break through them.
Truth be told, we have no idea, nor do they know how what we did happen. All we did was get a scavenger hunt, and then had some really strong mages try and activate the scavenger hunt.
Effectively, after we brought the attunement items to the ritual, they just channeled their magical energies into that ritual spot, and as you said, it was a rather weak signal. So
But there had to have been texts, records of some kind.
I do know of a way
perhaps-
to go to different planes, but it is a little ambiguous as of right now. I haven't really delved too deeply into it.
Squish also has many ways of traveling planes and wishes to know more of the subject.
If if this information is to be held anywhere, if not within the confines of the Grand School of Magic, I would assume either the first page library or potentially even the private sanctum libraries of
I
the
believe
kingdoms.
Yumari searched the first page Grand Library. It's not there. Perhaps it would be at the school.
I do think it might be at the school. I did find some.
Considering your connection to Onaji, calling her auntie and whatnot, perhaps try and get into her private sanctum libraries as well. There might be some information there.
I don't want to raise suspicions as if I'm trying to pull more people into this reality.
What are you trying to do then with planar research?
Ever since I showed up on their world, I have completed every single promise that I have made to all of my members. But I failed one. And I want to repay her for that.
If you don't mind, what was that promise?
Back in our old world, before Arabella became our goddess, she had a sister. Her name was Luana. She was possessed. And unfortunately, we didn't have a choice but to kill her. I promised her that I would save her to the best of my ability, and I failed her. But now that I have the knowledge that reincarnation could happen, I believe that Luana is still alive.
She wouldn't. You're not looking at planar travel, you know.
I'm looking at
crossing
breaking realities.
timelines.
I'm talking about breaking realities. It's not time travel. It's breaking realities.
Yeah.
I need to know exactly what Avalon has. I need to know exactly what Avalon has in his arsenal, that I can be able to break through realities and fulfill my promises to her.
I can assure you that as of right now, no one has that kind of power here. Perhaps there might be some ancient relics hidden away, but anyone knows where they are. They're probably in the vault.
If only there was someone we could talk to.
The only people that would have knowledge of that kind of powerful and that kind of power Be looking at the architect, Onaji gods.
Or an esoteric dragon. Sounds wild, but
If you happen to come across anything that can help me do this, I will pay you all greatly.
I will keep my eye.
We'll keep our eyes out for anything that we might be to find. We certainly might have some use for that kind of technology itself.
that research is something that I'm very much looking into, and it's...
If we find anything, be sure to alert you. We can retrieve it, all the better.
Very well. I thank you for meeting with me. And again, feel free to come by Firis and check out our organization. She flicks her finger, and behind you guys a portal opens up.
I bow and step through the portal.
I'll walk through it.
Poppy, come. And you see the little puffball just run back up the stairs back into her lap.
Squish eyes it as it runs, and then turns and walks through the portal. Squish hungry now.
Before I leave, what is that puffball called?
No, this is Poppy. He is my Poro.
Poro.
There are some members of the Nine-Tail organization who do have some as well.
I know where that's from.
These little creatures were the most adorable things in the world. The one thing I actually wanted to save.
They are adorable. I'll give you
Indeed.
that.
That's one of the benefits of being part of the Nine-Tails organization.
It could be.
Poros?
Only reason Jomini joins to get a Poro.
Literally just wants a pet.
Squish was a
He's
stick
a
on a
bird.
stick and roasted over a fire.
I already got a Zor.
Yeah, Noctis already has his bird.
So, you guys all wish brisk your way in your farewells, and you guys step out of the portal. You guys realize you're not on Equium anymore.
Where are we?
You're in
Are we
Nixie.
in a... Yeah, I had a feeling.
Perfect.
Oh, beautiful. At least we don't have to teleport a second time.
To the cart.
I'll be along in just a moment.
Remember, we still have a conversation to have.
Yes, quite.
Didn't we
just,
have to deliver a letter?
We'll all get
just,
that. We'll all get to that in time.
Just one moment. She just hobbles over to an alleyway and.
All right. So, your new adventures await as tensions begin to rise in the forests of Myril, and with Hino offering you a position in her organization and tasks along the way. Welcome to Chapter 2, ladies and gentlemen.
Woo!
We're gonna go ahead and end tonight's session here. So, the next step in your adventure has begun.
Sick.
Yep. I thoroughly enjoyed that little slavery conversation.
You reacted exactly how I thought you would.
Yep, me too.
It's the thing is like, well, it's very obvious how William will react. He wears his
how-
morals on his sleeve.
Sorry, I like how we were talking about time travel, and the song that we're listening to now is from past to present.
I haven't been listening to the music.
So, the only thing that ran through my head when we talking about traveling the world again is the song "All Around the World." Statues crumble.
Crumble for
Oh
me.
my god.
It goes
Who knows
Na, na,
how
na, na.
long after-
around the world, na, 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 na.
Where were you all listening to music? Was y'all streaming music? I didn't notice.
No, Spotify.
No.
Oh,
I
you
can-
were just all listening to music on your own?
No,
No,
I just Josh's Spotify.
Oh, okay. I don't know the
He's-
thing.
He just isn't able to stream it.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But thank you all so much for watching. Tune in next week. We are going to be starting a lot earlier, so I would like to be starting at 6:30 at least, because I have to get up very early tomorrow morning.
Me as well.
So if that's a
I
good,
don't.
so if that's a good time for everybody, we can start at 6:30 from now on.
Fine with me.
Fine with me.
That's fine.
Sounds good to me.
All right.
Sounds good.
So next week we will continue, and I'll catch you all then.
All right. All right. All right. All right.